Check 1, 2. All right, we're live. We're live. Let's go. Let's go. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Y'all, welcome into the stream. Welcome to Track Talk, y'all. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Miss Vivi's in the building. Arnold is in the room. What's up, Arnold? Welcome into the stream, y'all. Appreciate y'all hanging out today. What are y'all up to today? Welcome in over on TikTok. Welcome in on the other platforms as well. I appreciate y'all tapping in. I'm excited to listen to at least a handful of music today. Bilbo Laggins is in the building. What's up, Bilbo? Mattia, welcome in. 19 Lucas, thanks for tapping in. Caroline, thank you so much for joining the stream. If y'all are joining over on TikTok, let me know where you're joining from. Let me know if you make music, what kind of music you happen to make. We'll get into this stuff too. Memorial Drive's in the building. Memorial, I got you up there. Yeah, you should be straight up on the list, ready to go. I got you right where you need to be. Thanks for tapping in. You should be up there and ready to go. As soon as you get the stream rolling, we'll get things flowing here. Seraphia, welcome in, or Seraphia. Let me know. I want to make sure I get it right. Jay White, thanks for tapping in as well. Samson, appreciate you being here. Once again, let me know where y'all are joining from. If y'all are joining over on TikTok or any of the other platforms, let me know where you're from. If you make music, let me know what kind of music, how long you've been making it. Would love to chat for a little bit before we kickstart the music. Is it Richard? Thank you so much for tapping in as well. Peter's in the building. Peter, thanks for joining. I appreciate y'all being here. Jay White, we're going to get into some music here in just a little bit. We'll open up the lines and we'll get everything. In fact, the line is open on the other platforms. So we're going to get things moving here in just a minute. If y'all want to learn about submission or just read through the actual submission form, go to my profile, click on the link. You can read everything there. We'll get you moving in the right direction. Daniel, thank you so much for tapping in, but we'll kickstart everything in the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. I'm only going to listen to probably like 5 or 6 songs tonight. Not a lot. Like maybe, 4 to 6 songs. So it's going to be a short and sweet live today. I'm a little bit later today. Daniel's in the building. Daniel, thank you for tapping in. Carrie, thank you for joining. Samson, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Hello, I'm a songwriter. I use AI to produce. Produce it. Do you accept? Yes, we do. The thing that I ask, these are really in-depth consultations that we do here. So the thing that I ask for one is that people are open about it, which you are. So I appreciate that they're honest about their use of AI. I mean, also that you let me know how I can actually best help you. The whole structure of this live stream is to be as informative, as valuable as possible. These are long form, like 30-minute breakdowns. So I want to make sure that I'm valuable to you. I want to make sure that I can offer, help when it comes to the way that you're building structure for your songs, building up melodic structure, and, to help you improve the quality and the structure of your music, and also encourage people to collaborate and to socialize and to network in a way that, really does build a solid community that allows us to connect to one another, which I think is really important, especially in the day and age of AI music. I think it's really easy for creatives in general to isolate, which I don't think is good for creativity. I don't think it's good for art. I don't think it's good for culture and society. So I see both sides, and I want to make sure that this is a place that's always welcome to everybody. That it's a place that everybody can come in and feel safe and feel like they're heard, and that they have a good creative community while still being honest about the effects of things and how we can help improve what we're doing strategically, what we can improve practically, and stuff like that. Can I ask you explain how does can you play? Sorry, I'm reading through a bunch of comments right now. Thank y'all for tapping in. Keep tapping the screen, share out the live. Don't forget to send in your heart rate for the day. It really does help out the live stream. But I'll answer some questions as we go here. In the next couple minutes, I'll kickstart and explain the whole structure of the live stream. So we'll get it flowing here in just a minute. So let me answer some questions as we go, and hopefully we can get things. Opinions on I think you've asked that. Have you asked that question before? I'm having crazy deja vu. Give me a moment. Yeah, 100%, Daniel. Yeah, that makes sense. And we have had many people send in for that reason. Structurally for lyrics, edits to melodic structure, stuff like that, improving on like schemes and formatting, phrasing, things like that. I think that's really important. So no matter what you do, I do think that it is still valuable to get feedback on that and a breakdown of that. If y'all want opinions as we're getting going here, I'm going to kickstart. Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to do consultations here in just a few minutes. I'll open everything up. If you want information on that, go to my profile and click on the link. You'll see all the details right there. I will explain everything in just a little bit. So the whole format of the live stream, the whole structure that we do here at Track Talk, I'll explain that in detail here in a second. But so I want to answer some questions first and and make sure that I'm still getting to know y'all. I want to know what kind of music y'all make. But yeah, absolutely any genre. There's no genre. We're a very analytical space here. This is a really, really detailed structure for this live stream. The consultations that we do are really in depth. They're long form. I'll be here on the band phone, and then okay, got you. Sounds good. Memorial Drive. I appreciate you. You're up on the list, ready to go, as I think you saw. You're ready to go. But yeah, these are long form consultations. So if you are interested in that, you can go to my profile, click on the link, and I'll explain all of that here in just a little bit. But it's absolutely any style, any genre, any level of preparedness. We've had everything within a single live. We've had everything from like a voice memo of someone humming, excuse me, someone humming so we can build chord structure over it, all the way to Grammy winning musicians and producers. So it's going to be all the way across the board. You don't have to feel insecure about where your quality's at or if it's already perfect or whatever. Most people come into this live with unreleased stuff. D, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. They come into this live with unreleased, unfinished stuff in order to see if there's anything they can polish or improve before it hits distribution. And of course, there is going to be a large group of people that still release stuff or send in stuff that is already released. Libby, thank you for the heartbeat. I appreciate that a lot. Let's see. Y'all keep tapping the screen. Let's try to get to 2,000. Yes, I do. Yeah, Spotify's fine. Spotify's perfectly fine. Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, Wave, MP3, drive file, Dropbox, doesn't really matter to me as long as I have access to it. The only issue that I have is when I'm hearing something or someone's sending something. We have to spend like 12 minutes to make sure they like give me the access to the file and they don't know how to do it and stuff like that. So as long as I have access to it, I'll listen to whatever. Any style, any level of preparedness. Let me see. Let me catch them up. There was one question. There's actually one interesting question. Zildjian, fantastic brand. I don't know if that's what you're talking about on there, but Zildjian Zachary on Spotify. Can I ask, explain how does snare stacking work? I'm assuming, Zildjian. Oh, there you are, back in the chat. Back in the chat, I see you. I'm assuming you're talking about like layering snares in your production and stuff like that. Let me know if that's kind of what you're talking about. Enuma, welcome in. I appreciate y'all being here. I know I've missed some names, some people that are coming in. Thank y'all so much for joining. So when it comes to snare stacking, for me, it really people just do it, and then they don't really know what to edit and what to manipulate and how to move things around. So I would just make sure, for me, the most important aspect of building your sound design in your production is what you do at the source. Doing things on purpose. Accidents happen, but you don't have this. If you don't have the skills to then replicate those accidents, then you're going to be running into some issues because you don't know how to edit. You don't know how to manipulate to make it sound good, either in that moment or in a future moment. So I do think those skills are really important. Goku, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. So when it comes to snacking, goodness gracious, I just ate and I feel like I'm still hungry. When it comes to stacking snares, Deb, welcome in. Thanks for joining. When it comes to stacking snares, it really just comes down to what you are trying to get out of your snare sound. Are you looking for more top end and transients and snap? Are you looking for more body and presence, a little more oomph underneath it, right? So you might be layering, I'm going to give a loose example, not knowing what you do, but a loose example. Like I might have like this really like bright, snappy, kind of clappy trap snare over the top. But to me, it really doesn't give like the body and presence and the oomph that I want out of the mix. It doesn't have the punch and the drive that I'm looking for. So I might layer that with like a really kind of like dull, oversaturated, like crunchy snare right underneath it. And then I'll just like, I want the snap to be kind of the priority. LT, thank you for the follow. I want the snap to be the priority, right? So I have it, nice and snappy and transient. It's really cutting through the mix, but there's no weight to it. Thank you for the heart, me, Deb. And so I might just slowly bring in that kind of fat, really saturated snare with a lot of body to it right underneath it, just to create the body that I'm looking for. And then as necessary, I might filter out certain frequencies and, I might high pass one or low pass another one in order to make sure that there's space for both of those snares to exist within the structure of the mix and in the production without phase issues and stuff like that. But it really just comes down to like, what do you want? What do you want? Like, so sometimes what I'll do is like, I might have one example. There's a production I worked on not that long ago that's still in my files here. It's not released yet. There's a production I worked on probably a couple, is it Radik? Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. A couple months ago where my initial snare, my prioritized snare is a big, fat, deep, like D-tune snare, is a really thick, like pop snare, right? Think like Ludwig, Black Beauty, really massive sounding snare. Jaziel, thank you so much for the follow. But I wanted it to have like a little more texture at the top, a little more crunch, a little more texture. So what I did is I layered a really like thin, snappy, like hip hop snare. Think of like a really like thin, bright clap almost over the top. So I had this big, thick sounding snare, but I wanted more texture. I wanted more energy. So right over the top of it, just like barely, it's like you don't even know that it's there. It feels like it's one snare. I added this like kind of clappy trap snare, but I saturated the shit out of it. I was like super distorted. I brightened up the top end quite a bit, saturated it like crazy, and added a little bit of like plate reverb on it. And then I carved out all of the low end. So I kind of cut out everything below like 400 hertz on it. So it was very like thin, bright, crunchy, but it was only there for that texture. You're not even necessarily hearing it forward in the mix. And I just brought it right over the top of this thick, fat sounding snare to give it like texture, give it snap, give it some color and some character. Dev, thank you for the dolphin. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate that a lot. Anyway, so I think that to me is like, that's how I would approach it, is you got to kind of know what you're looking for. You got to know like, what am I trying to get out of my snare? What am I trying to accomplish by layering these snares? Oftentimes it works with one snare. You find one snare and it works beautifully and it slices through exactly as you want to. And then sometimes you'll have a snare. Thank you for the cold boxing gloves. Is it Quinton? Am I saying that correctly? Thank you so much for the boxing gloves. I appreciate that a lot. And so yeah, that's the way that I approach it, is like, what exactly am I trying to get out of this? Does this snare give that to me? Or do I need to layer something very specifically and strategically to get the sound that I'm looking for? And then if I do have the sound that I'm looking for, but it's muddy, how do I carve and create space so that it's no longer that way? Have you tried listening to Lana Del Rey? Yeah, 100%. I've listened to her for a long time. Not like hyper familiar with her, but Deb, thank you for the rose. I appreciate that a lot. The roses, plural. Thank you for that so much. It's been a while since I've like listened to her consistently. I don't know if she has something new out that I'm supposed to be familiar with, but I have many times in the past. On through the night. Thanks for joining as well. I see a bunch of y'all coming in. Thank y'all so much for the follows. Thank y'all so much for joining today. I appreciate it a lot. We're going to get into a handful of songs here. So let me update a few things here. And just make sure I've got everything in order before we kickstart the music. Really quick, let me know who just submitted really quick. Yay. Yay. Let's see. Of course, Noah, thank you for the follow. And Zildjian, of course, anytime, man. I appreciate the question. And this also goes for like acoustic drums. Like y'all can't see it in obviously this little tiny zoomed in video right here. I do have an acoustic drum set in here with like different snare options and stuff. And the same goes for like acoustic drums. Sometimes I will like track acoustic drums and I'll have everything pretty dry. And then I'll layer it with something that I feel, like I'll layer it with like a really, really light, like digital snare in order to give it maybe this little bit of extra snap that I'm looking for. But it really just depends on what I'm looking for. It really depends on the tone and texture that I'm looking for. All right, y'all. Let's get into some music. Let me know who just submitted through the website. Riddick, there is one. Walkman, thanks for it's happening as well. Daniel, I got you. That's you right there. And then let me know who submitted through the website, so I can get that pulled up as well. I can get you up on the list, and then we're gonna dive into some music. Not now. Let me double check this real quick. I'm going to go ahead and push Memorial Drive. Daniel, I got you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for that. If y'all ever want to check the line and stuff like that, just go to the Red app. You'll see everything that you need right there. If you want to know what that is, just go to my profile, click on the link. All the submission stuff is there. And I will dive right now into the details of all of the structure of what we do here and why we do it that way and kind of the format of the live stream that we have here today. Is it Liane's? Am I saying that correctly? I want to make sure that I get your name correctly. Thank you so much for that. Liane, maybe? 100% Zildjian, that's what we do. Liane's or Liane's? Close. I'm close. I'm right there. I'm in the ballpark. I always want to make sure that I show proper respect to y'all's names. So if I'm getting something wrong, please do not feel insecure about correcting me. I've got no Liane, beautiful. Thank you so much. I've got no ego in the name thing because I see like 900 names pop up on the screen over the course of the live stream. So I always want to make sure that I get it correctly. So let me get you up on there as well. I appreciate that a lot. All right, let's get this up there. I got Memorial Drive, Daniel. Let's see, Liane, a couple years. Mikhail, Kev, Monty, boom, we're ready to go. Line is already filling up. I'm only taking a handful today. I'm going to try to keep that in mind as well. I've got time for like 4 to 6. I'm not going to do a whole lot. 4 to 6 today, and then I got to hop off. So it's going to be short, sweet, and distinct today as we get into the live stream. But let's talk about the music. Let's talk about submission. Some of y'all have already gone through that process. Love and appreciate y'all. Y'all are amazing. Thank you for reading through everything. I appreciate that more than you know. Unfortunately, very rare. Boy in Park, thank you so much for tapping in. Okay, really quick, if y'all are coming in for the first time, welcome to Track Talk. Welcome to the family. I appreciate you being here so much. Welcome to the live stream. If you've never been here before, these are 20 to 30 minute multiple listen deep dive consultations on the structure of your music. We're going to dive deep over those 20 to 30 minutes into your mix and master, production elements, sound design and lyric structure, song formatting. We're going to spend those 20 to 30 minutes listening to your track multiple times, usually 2 to 3 different times, to really get into the nuances of those details. This is not a fast review or really a review at all. This is not a fast review. There is no trash or pass. You're not going to see ratings. There's no polls. This is a deep dive, long form analysis of what you're doing to hopefully and ideally give you a professional, practical, and actionable feedback on the structure of your music. I am not here to roast you. I'm not here to trash you. I'm not here to stroke my own ego. I'm also not here to hype you up. I'm not here to just give you exposure. If you gain exposure through this, fabulous. That's awesome. I'm glad that that happened. But it is absolutely not the priority of what I'm doing here. It might be a byproduct, if not awesome, or if not, it doesn't really matter to me. I just want to give value. I want to give actionable feedback, and I want to give tools and tips to people who could hopefully use the polish, and who could use some tools that would help them improve on what they're doing practically and creatively within their music. And we're going to get into a couple other things here, but for those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I am a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. I've done that for 13 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist. So that is the perspective that we're holding going into the structure of this live stream. Like I said, I'm not here to trash you. I'm not here to give you a rating and a poll. I'm here to offer, practical and professional feedback on the structure of your music. If that is interesting to you, if you want a 30-minute consultation, a long form breakdown, this is a long consultation, not a quick free line 5-skip review. It's a long form breakdown. If that's interesting to you, go to my profile, click on the link. All of the details are right there. All of the details are right there. So just read through and follow all that, and we'll get you on the board. Once again, it is a shorter live today. I'm not going to be on for a really long time today. I might take 4 to 6 songs, because they're long. Like I said, they're 20 to 30 minutes long. So that's still hours. I'm going to take 4 to 6 songs tonight, not very long. So I will be closing the line a little bit early. So if you want to get in, get in. Otherwise, I might be saving some for a future. I'll be back on Monday, most likely, as long as we all have power. I don't know what it's going to be like. I'm in Texas. So, it could be 70 tomorrow, actually, and they lied to everybody, or the power could be shut off. We have no water, and we don't know what we're going to do for the next 3 days. So I'm going to play it by ear a little bit, but ideally we'll probably be back on Monday, maybe even a little bit tomorrow, all things willing, if half the nation is not without power. All right, let's get into a couple things here. Let me get this updated, and let me get everything in order. Just a quick warning. I wrote the song How to Use AI for the Music as I hand access to music. I want to make sure that I'm understanding here. Oh, no, it's not an issue. No worries. You're fine. No worries at all. Yeah, I just appreciate that you're upfront about it. So that's really the only thing that I asked, is that you're upfront about using AI. And you let me know, again, this is a deep consultation. So I want to know how I can help you. I want to know how we can actually, how I can be of service to you, how I can actually be valuable to you on your creative journey. But yeah, you're not going to get a bunch of hate from me. I have my opinions holistically about AI use and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I want people to have good creative outlets, and I want to help people improve if they have the ability to. Okay. Emily's in the building. What's up, Emily? Okay, let me double check some things. Let me make sure I have everything updated on my end, and then we will get into the music. That's Emily right there. I just saw your submission. Let me get you up there. Once again, if you want to see the line, which I would encourage you to do, since it's a short live today, of course. It's a short live today, so I would encourage you to keep an eye out on the line. It's it's on the Red app. So if you use YT, the Red app, use your imagination. That's where you can see the line at any point to see if you want to move forward, if you need to save your time and save it for another day and stuff like that. Either way. Okay, let me see. Okay, Emily, let me get you up there. I got you after Liane. So yeah, we already got Memorial Drive, Daniel, Liane, and Emily up on the board, ready to go. So we already have a fairly full line. I've already got 9 people on, and we're only going to take a handful. So please go check the line if you want to. I have 9 on the board currently. Some that are coming in from yesterday, and then a chunk that I just got in already from today. So let me make sure I've got all of those updated, and let's get into some music. No. His Broken, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it a lot. All right, Memorial Drive, hop in the chat. I think you're here. Thank you for the heart me as well. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. That means a lot to me. All right, let's get it. And I should have this from the other day. So let me just double check. Leanne, thank you for the heart me as well. I appreciate it. And Deb, thank you for the donut. I just saw that as well. Thank you for the donut. It means a lot. Maya, thank you for the follow. Y'all are amazing. Memorial Drive's right there. Gorgeous. Let me just pull up the song from, you sent it in yesterday, I think. So, Um, let me see. That was earlier. Earlier. Can you remind me of the name on it? Oh no, I got it. I got you. No, you're ready to go. Sorry, I saw it. All right, the song is "Shanked at the Par 4." Ooh, okay, let's go. If you want to get on the list, go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. But I would request that y'all check the line first because the line is already so full. Actually, I need to update it here. The line is already so full. We already got a huge batch of people right at the beginning here, and I'm not going to be on for very long. So the minimums are already updated. So if y'all want to make sure that you check that, because I try to do my best to make sure that I don't bring people in for submissions when I know that there's not a chance I would have time to hear them. That sometimes that still happens. Sometimes I just get like 5 people that all submit right at the same time, and there's no way that I can control that. But I also can't be on 24/7. So I try to limit it. I try to control it and change it over time to keep it as fair as possible. But if it does end up that I have to get off and you haven't been heard, of course your credit is always saved. We've been doing this live in this context, in this setting for about almost 3 years at this point. I always keep a detailed list of everybody's names and credit that's left up on the board so I can make sure that you can just literally hop in the next time and show up. So if you want to submit, you can just check the order, check minimum, stuff like that over on the Red app. Daniel, thank you for the follow. And I'll do my best to keep everything updated over the course of the live. All right. Let's get into it. We got Memorial Drive in the building. Let's run it. Memorial Drive, you know the drill. You've been here a couple times before as well, man. Love what y'all do. Give me all the details when it comes to the structure of your music and so that everybody in the chat also knows what you do, how you do it, and the role that you play in the music. Song is completed. We released it January 13th. Let's get into it. This is out on Spotify. So if you like what you hear, go like the track, go add it to your playlist, go stream it, go, you know the deal, all that stuff. This is Shanked at the Par 4 by Memorial Drive. Yeah, if y'all want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. Let's get into it. Let's see.
So sorry. I know that I'm right where you thought I would be, though you warned me. I'll never get out of this house or this town.
100%. Yeah, I feel it already.
Explain how you missed it. Where did time go?
Nice. It definitely already has that like filtered nostalgic feel. Early 2000s punk rock. Here it comes. Yeah. Thank you for the follow. Powerful double track there too. It's beefy. Come on, Tone. Come on, Tone. Woo. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Remind me really quick. The role that whoever is in Memorial Drive right here in the chat. Let me know the role that you play in the band here.
Get out the roads and lies to finally find your way back to me.
Sing them in moments.
Baby,
Yeah.
tried to jump the gun, but this
Thank you on both platforms.
This was coming.
Beautiful structure for that third note harmony. Beautiful. Yeah. This is killer, man. So much better on the other ones. Optimus, 100%. It's way better. Gil, backup vocals is Gil about to drop his first song. Ooh, as a solo. Murphy, welcome in. Yeah. Kylo, welcome in. Perfect. Let's go. I love that. Those backgrounds are beautiful. Great harmonies. Absolutely. W, 100%. Beautiful mix too. God, the guitar tone's nasty. Thanks for tapping in. Remind me really quick, how many are in the band? Woo. Love the background fry screams too. Great layers. Classic filter, early 2000s breakdown. Come on.
But this was coming.
Hell yeah. A 4 and we have a feature sometimes. Okay, nice. Me, Jacob drums, Austin guitar, Josh bass. Beautiful. Beautiful. Fantastic mix, man. Yeah. Let's go. Yo, let's go. Yo, shout out to Memorial Drive. This is their song that they just put out. It's called Shanked at the Part 4 by Memorial Drive. It is out on all platforms, so please go show some love and support. Go stream it, go like it, go add it to your playlist, go follow on Spotify, all that good stuff. Go show them some love and support, man. It's a beautiful, beautiful structure, fantastic mix, specifically in this genre too. Fantastic mix. Really, really well done. It is straightforward and dry and punchy and saturated where it needs to be, and also noisy and busy where it needs to be as well. Like, you still, especially in this genre, you don't want it to be like too pristine and too clean and too sterile. It needs a little bit of overdrive. It needs a little bit of like wall of sound busyness in order to really feel the energy behind it. So you've done a great job, and whoever was engineering I think you mentioned him in the chat earlier actually, but did a fantastic job building out this mix and making it powerful and vibrant, still keeping distinction between all of the elements. I mean, that riff on the guitar, the double track with the riff of that guitar is very clean. You hear it distinctly in the mix every time. It's really, really well done. Vocal in the midst of all of that noise still has enough clarity to hear the lyrics. Fantastic. I like it a lot. We were torn on connecting the intro because it made it over 4 minutes, but I'm glad we did. I didn't even realize that it was Yucca. Welcome in. I did not realize that it was 4 minutes. It's 4.5 minutes. It's 4.5 minutes. I didn't even realize. Great energy, great structure. Let's dive into some details. But y'all, this is out and it's beautiful. If you like the style of music, you should definitely be streaming it. Y'all are crushing it. This is Memorial Drive. Let's dive into some details here and let's keep the music going. I love the use of just like a pretty like classic, like filtered rock intro here. I think that to me is just like, we were talking about this yesterday with an electronic artist and producer that came in really, really talented. Cyan, Xyan. Cyan was their name. Go check them out. They're fire. A really, really cool producer that came in. And we were talking about the balance between being like, as someone who's like producing and building song structure and writing and stuff like that, the balance between being like fresh and like, you know, being spontaneous and fresh and interesting and different and, you know, giving some twists and turns in the structure of your music. And then the balance of like just giving people exactly what they want to and exactly what you want to do creatively. You know what I mean? Like there's a sweet spot I feel like between all of those elements. And I think y'all do that beautifully. It's like there's some new fresh things. You're still yourself. You sound like you. You have your own identity as a band and as a vocalist and stuff like that. Like your voice is very distinct. But at the same time, you're also just like giving people what they want. And I think that's a powerful thing to have to be able to execute on as an artist, especially in this day and age with so much saturation. I do think that it is a superpower to have. Like you're doing the filtered breakdown, you're doing the powerful double track guitar riffs, you're doing the filtered lead vocal intro. It's really, really nice. Should be a time change from the intro into the main, I think. Okay, beautiful. Let's check it out. Let's get into it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Just for fun, welcome in. Because these are like slower triplets, right? Right off the G, is it G sharp major to the C sharp major, right? If I'm hearing correctly. Like it's like very slow. So you're kind of you have like the triplet picking pattern that shifts into like the double track when it comes in, so that you do have a pretty distinct tempo change there.
So sorry. I know that
We do
I'm
have
right
some.
where you
We
thought
have
I
a
would
couple
be,
if y'all
though
want to
you
check them out
warned
at my link tree.
me. I'll never get out of this house, of this town, of this state of existence.
Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. And thank you for the heartbeat as well,
Call
Moto.
that you reach out, explain how you
Boom,
missed
boom.
it.
Yeah, like the syncopations there for over the lead, and then it's got those like this slower kind of like with the triplets give it kind of like this waltz and this little swing with the background of the vocal as well. It sounds really nice. I like it. Those little decisions make a huge difference to me.
Where did
Okay,
time
Lord, I got you. Let me double check.
go?
Got you. I appreciate you so much. Actually, really quick. Really quick. I gotta pause it before this kicks in like crazy. Really quick, I try to mention as often as I can in between listening to the tracks and stuff like that. I do recommend as often as you can to make sure you have the line pulled up. It's on the Red app. Check the line over on the Red app, because I am updating minimums and stuff over the course of the live, because I don't have a whole lot of time to take on a huge batch. And so if people submit too low, then I know I won't have time to hear them today. So I do have that updated right now. So do me a huge favor, Lord, if you haven't already, to check the line, read through those details there as well. I think you already did, because you did send in. So I think you did read most of the details there, but just double check that, check the line really quick, because I want to make sure that I have time for as many of y'all coming in as possible. That's why I make sure that I keep the line updated as we go. All right, let's get into this breakdown, Memorial Drive. Let's get into the breakdown here. And that's a powerful double track. The structure, the noise, I mean, it's huge sounding. It's huge sounding. Woo. Again, lots of noise, a lot of information here. It sounds huge. It sounds massive. You get that wall of sound, but those lead, or actually, technically in this case, you have like a simple da, 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 like really simple lead line over the top, more singular. The double track is actually carrying most of your riff, like your rhythm guitars here. And to me, those riffs are still really distinct. The tone is amazing. It cuts into the mix beautifully. It's very well done. That's so clean. It's so clean. Woo! Alex, welcome in. You're still able to, like, there's a good spread. I'm assuming it's probably some very strategic, like mid-side processing on like the guitar bus. Yeah, we were in the studio for a few days with this one. You can tell, sounds beautiful. It's very well polished. Some like strategic mid-side right there, because there's a great amount of like pocket and space for that lead vocal cutting into the middle of the mix. Definitely like surrounded by guitars. You know what I mean? Like they don't feel, I mean, they're loud. Those guitars are loud. They're a little bit forward in my opinion, but at the same time, you can still hear and understand that vocal, even though it is noisy, even though it is like really vibrant and really loud. I appreciate it. I'm not here, especially with rock, you're not here. This is not like a polished pop mix, right? Like it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be loud. It's supposed to be like a little messy. And so I can appreciate the fact that you still can distinguish the vocal, even though that double track is very loud. I do appreciate that you can still hear the vocals with some level of clarity, even though you're pretty much like, triggered open, or not triggered, but, sequenced. What am I saying? Not sequence, the sequence. I'm not talking about digital sequencing with the drums, but the sequence of open hat and closed hat that is giving you so much like mid and high end energy. You can still hear that vocal with some clarity. Nice. It's really well done. And again, like you said, or like I mentioned earlier when we were first listening to, thank you for the paper cranes, Lord APAC, APAC, I think. I was APAC. Lord APAC, sorry. Lord APAC, thank you for the paper crane, Jesus. I'm watching too much stuff. Thank you for the paper crane. I appreciate you a lot. Goodness gracious. Okay, let's back this up a little bit. I want to listen for these harmonies right here as well. It's not Lord APAC. Okay. Let me back this up a little bit here. I want to hear this in, but a beautiful introduction. beautiful introduction of the third note harmonies right here over that lead vocal occasionally as it comes in on kind of like the B section on each side. Is it Mir Leona? Am I saying that correctly? Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that.
Just tried to jump the gun, but this was coming.
This was coming. That like third note over your lead melody right there is so well executed. I mean, it's like powerful, it's punchy, it's a clean double of that vocal as well on each side that gives you not only the impact of increasing energy by stacking the vocals, but width and openness. It makes everything feel incredibly vibrant, really, really powerful. Props to y'all, man. You said you were a couple days in the studio with this one. You can tell there's a lot of thought, there's a lot of intention behind each sequence that you have here, when harmonies happen and how they happen, how you're building out your riffs. Do those riffs step on the vocal a little bit, or are they in between takes? And then drum structure, obviously pocket-wise, is very, very consistent in the background and mixed beautifully, by the way. Very open, good panning on the drums. Fantastic, man. Across the board, this is very, very polished. Sounds very professional. Let's get into this next section right here. Gil and I have been in previous bands before. We've been singing together for like 15 years. Dude, you can tell. We basically auto harmony to each other now. You can tell, man. You can tell. Stony Love, welcome in. You can tell. It's very polished. It's very clean. Everything feels like very in tune with each other. I don't really feel anything fighting each other in this mix from the production standpoint, but also in the writing and the harmonies, your melodic structure. It feels very professional, man. Very, very well balanced. Props to y'all. This is great. And a balance too of on the background vocals. I love this as well. Of a cleaner, Mitchell, welcome in. A cleaner, anybody out there? Like you have like the third harmony right over the top, but balanced with that, kind of performed with that is like gang vocals too. So you kind of have a balance and like a really good balance, I would say, of like melodic harmonies in the background and like just yelled gang vocals that are just kind of shouting in the background of anybody out there, you know what I mean, that are kind of untuned, unstructured, back off the mic a little bit, that are adding so much like energy and so much emphasis to those accent vocals as well, which I absolutely love. I think that works really well in this genre, of course, but it works really well in this mix as well. You can hear that. We got there. We got there. I love that balance. Really, really nice. Love from the park. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in.
If I get a chance, I'll take it. If you get a chance, don't waste it, baby. I just tried to jump the gun, but this was coming.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Georgia is being rated by. Okay, I gotta be careful. Hey, you know who owns TikTok now? Slasher. I gotta be careful on here. I gotta be careful over here. Yeah, bad joke. Too soon. It's fucking insane right now. Yili, thank you so much for hopping in as well. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. We switched our focus to community building with other artists and band before this release and went hard on content. We gained, I think. We gained almost 3,000 followers on TikTok. We also finally got the band photo on Spotify. Appreciate that suggestion. Beautiful. Hold on. I'm right here on Spotify. Let me check it out. Gorgeous. Love it. Oh, I love it so much. Perfect. And y'all are in Oklahoma, man, stay safe. I know things are hitting tonight. The temperature we're in Texas right now, and the temperature just dropped like 12 degrees in the last like 2 hours. So y'all stay safe. I know y'all are kind of in the middle of it, man. So hopefully y'all are able to handle all the craziness that's about to go down. Hopefully it's not too bad. But yeah, this looks awesome. This looks great. That's a great photo. Yeah, so good. So good. Joseph said, my power could go out any second as I look outside and nothing is happening. Yeah, you never know. And Texas is not known for our power grid. Let's just say that. It's not really a point of pride for us. So we'll see. We could be perfectly fine. It could be 85 degrees tomorrow, or we could be under 4 inches of ice and the city shut down. We literally have no idea. Yeah, that's a fantastic band photo. That looks so much more polished and professional. That looks like, now I feel like if you were to like go to a festival, be booking with someone, trying to open for a band, there's some structure to what you're doing that is so much more credible if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like they're like, oh yeah, this isn't like some random like pink background as the banner. There's, it's like it looks polished, it looks professional, it looks like you know what you're doing, even if we don't, right? It looks like you know what you're doing. And I feel like you just get so much more credibility when you have those things taken care of. It's really, really nice. It's snowy. It's snowy-ish, but we're thriving. Let's go. Let's go. Hopefully everything's fine. Hopefully everything. I know the brunt of it's like tomorrow. It really helps with people recognizing us now outside. 100%. They got to know who you are. They need to be able to see you, see your aesthetic, your aesthetic. Jesus, see your aesthetic. Understand some of your charisma, or you know what I mean? Like, I think so much comes through when you just like let people know who you are. Like you said, you focus on content, you actually express yourself, you actually put yourself in front of people. You have photos, you have videos, you have content. Like, it makes a difference, man. People got to be able to connect. If you want fans, not to just like blast the algorithm with like promo that's paid, but actually getting fans of what you're doing that stick around for what you're doing, you gotta be locked in with that stuff. All right, let's get into this outro here. This is gorgeous, man. It's really, really well done. Y'all should be so incredibly proud of this. I've always loved y'all's music. Y'all are always really polished with what you do. This is just another great example of that. Very, very professional.
Last I heard, it seems you had it rough. Too bad it took this long to call your bluff. Baby, I just tried to jump the gun,
So nice.
but this was coming. You saw this coming. It was
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. We love it. We love a bridge. We love a bridge. I also love. Hold on. Let me clear this. Hold on. Let me clear this. I want to update this line really quick. I want to get this where it's supposed to be. Right there. Beautiful. The other thing that I love about it too is you, in order to push the energy trend, welcome in, you can. Liane, you can literally right now. It's out on all platforms. Go look up Shanked at the Par 4 by Memorial Drive. Look up Memorial Drive. They have great music. They're still very underground. They're very, very, I mean, they're 427 monthly listeners. Very, very underground, but their quality is incredible. They're very polished, very professional, very talented. Y'all go show them some love. The song is out. You can go stream it right now. I believe it just came out. It's really, really well done. Zaya, welcome in. Thank you so much for tapping in. Wendell, thank you for joining as well. Appreciate any new friends. Yeah, y'all tap in. Show some love. Go follow them on Spotify, all the good stuff. Show them some love and support. Add them to playlists. Y'all know the deal. I also love that in order to boost your energy here, like your perceived energy at the outro of the song here, your lead vocal, you switch to the harmony. It's a subtle detail. It's a subtle detail, but you then switch with the lead. Like you bring in the third note harmony, matching the outside. Now it becomes like a double of that whole vocal line right there. That's way more powerful and way more energetic at the end of the song. That change in register right there is really, really nicely done. I wanted to have the conversation vocal thing for the finish, kind of like Taking Back Sunday. Yep. Overlapping, looping, like early parts of the song, resurfacing. Like there's so much stuff that I love, man. Really, really, really good stuff. Bringing back, so now you have, like, obviously you have your lead, you have your doubles, you're bringing back the gang vocals as a repetition right there as well. Appreciate you. Always do my best to notice. That's one of my favorite things about this, especially if you already are very polished. If there's nothing to like, you need to change all of this and your second verse is trash, whatever. Like, if there's nothing to really like change about it, I want to notice. That's my highest priority. I want the work that you put in, the blood, sweat, and tears, and the energy and the time and the money that you put into your craft. I want it to be noticed by someone. Maybe the consumer won't have language for it. I want to bring language to it. You know, I want to know, like, oh yeah, you did this, like this triplet arpeggio moving up in the guitar and the guitar solo with this extra change in processing, because it matters. Like, to me, what you do artistically and creatively matters. And oftentimes, either just, people don't have language for it, or they don't notice, or they don't know to notice. I want to notice it. I really want to dig into what y'all are doing. It's one of my favorite things about this live stream, whether your stuff is polished or not, is to just listen for the details, like listen for the nuances of what you're doing. Because otherwise people might not necessarily know. Like, yeah, translating for the normies. They might not know. They might not know necessarily what they're hearing. But this is also great because I think it helps other, I hope it does, at least that's one of my goals, is that it helps other creatives as well. Because a lot of times I think creatives, especially if you're a newer creative or maybe you don't have as much language around your creativity yet, it's pretty raw, it's pretty fresh, and there's not a lot of technical language behind what you're doing, which is perfectly fine. That's very valid. I think it can be good to know what people are doing, because you might hear something that you love and you have no idea what it is or how to replicate it. You're like, oh man, I love when these last hooks feel like this, but no one is saying that, yeah, they actually changed the melody to the harmony to make that the lead melody so that the vocal register is lifted, so the energy is higher. They might not know that that's happening, but they know that they like the way that the end of the song feels, and it gives them language around how they can also apply that in their own music. So that's also something I'm really passionate about. I always want to make sure that we're able to like give language to some of the things that are happening in these song and production structures, so that other producers and engineers and other, songwriters and artists can learn that language as well and execute it in their own craft. That's something that's really fun for me. Derek Bennett's in the building. What's up, Derek Bennett? Debbie Jean, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you a lot. Beautiful. Yo, show some love. Beautifully, beautifully done. Beautifully, beautifully done. Mobby, I definitely can. Just make sure y'all check the line before you submit. Submission is at my profile. Just click on the link. All of the steps are right there. Just read through and follow everything. But check the line first, because orders and minimums are changing all the time, just because the line is very modular and I have a limited amount of time. Y'all, please show some love to the family. I just went live for the first real time good times. Let's go, Derek. I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. That's not an easy thing to do. That's a vulnerable, terrifying thing to do sometimes. I know better than most how that is. So shout out to Derek for doing that, man. I'm proud of you. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. All right, y'all, let's get into this next track. I need everybody to please show some love to Memorial Drive. Go stream their music. Go add it to playlists, all that fun stuff. Y'all are the real deal. The real deal, the real deal. Let's keep it going. Let's see who we got up next. We got Daniel in the building. Daniel, hop in the chat. Of course, man. Absolutely, anytime. I absolutely love what y'all do. Love what you do. Love what you do. Y'all stay safe too. Hopefully it's seamless in the next 2 days. With this ice stuff will blow over by that. I mean the weather, but also whatever. Hopefully that all blows over and y'all will be all right too. I'm hoping to have my songs covered or co-write with singers. Beautiful. That's Daniel, and you said you use AI for your production, right? Let me double check. I would like feedback on my song I wrote called "Forgive Myself." I wrote the lyrics and used AI for the singer. Backwards. Or wait. I wrote the lyrics and used AI for the singer. What about the production? Is the production generated as well? Just so I know. And I'll be able to hear it too, but yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. All right. Let me double check. I can hear it in the first couple notes of the piano. You hear the artifact. All right, let's double check. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, you can hear it immediately. All right, let's get into it. This is "Forgive Myself" by Daniel Terrence. Daniel Terrence, right over here in the chat. Thank you so much for sending this in. I appreciate that a lot. So for everybody that's aware, the lyrics were written by Daniel right here, but the actual vocal that you'll hear, of course, and y'all be able to tell, but the vocal that you hear in the production that you'll hear is generated. So the focus, and let me know if this is kind of what you're wanting, so I can hone in on this for you as well, is song structure, I guess, essentially, like vocal structure, lyrics, song structure. I think that's what we're going to focus on. I'm not going to really touch the mix. It's AI, so I'm not going to really mess with that. I want to focus on your song. I want to focus on what you're writing, how you're writing it, because your goal is to be able to network and work with real singers and real musicians to build out the structure of your music, which I think is beautiful. I think that should be the priority for anybody who is fully generating songs. I think that should be your North Star. I think that should be your goal, to use it as a tool if you feel like you want to, but also pursue pitching it to people so that you can still collaborate and network and cultivate creativity with other people. Otherwise, in my experience, you get sharper and sharper as a creative, not just by executing, but also by being around creativity. And so the isolating factor of generated music, I think, is another one of its downfalls that you have to fight a little bit, right? If it's something that you're using, all of a sudden you're doing everything yourself and you don't have to really do anything else. You will not necessarily get better and better and better because of that. And so I want you to make sure that in that process of generating stuff that, like you already said, which I think is beautiful, and I think that's it's very, very good. I would still make it one of your North Stars to pursue collaborating with people, so that you can still sharpen your creativity. You're still utilizing that. I don't have a song, but my mate is in a band called Red Vanilla. Yeah, people send in songs all the time. Croneheart, thanks for tapping in. I see you over on the Purple app. Thanks for being here. All right. But yeah, people send it for other artists all the time. I have a very limited number of songs today. I only got a handful left. So if anybody does want to submit, just please make sure that you double check the line over on the red app first, so that you red or purple app actually, so that you can make sure you see the minimums, the order, and stuff like that. I want to make sure that that's clear. All right, this is "Forgive Myself" by Daniel Terrence. Let's get into it. Did you like sing any of the melody or just write like inputted lyrics as poetry?
Almost in love with you, just trying to forgive myself for what I
Got you. So the melody, it just came up with kind of on its own, right? Wonder, welcome in.
I was living in the past, my walls blocking my love for you. My actions unforgivable.
Okay.
Yet
Went through
you're
many different ones, got
still
you.
by my side.
Like revising it and stuff like that, right?
Me throughout
Birdie, welcome in.
laughing and rainbows was easy, but
Got you, Derek. Sorry, just got yours in, Derek. I got you. Yeah, I got you.
How do you love me
Yeah.
still?
Makes sense.
I'm almost
Yeah, Derek in the building. Let's go. I got you, man. Thank you so much.
Just trying to forgive myself for what I put you through. My thoughts were to let you go, push you away.
Zay's in the building. What's up, Zay?
To live my
Bella
life
Kiss, welcome in.
darkness for another day, but your love for me is real, no different from the happy-go-lucky gal, not dealing with my dark history built up over time.
Yeah, I definitely want to work on, thank you for the Harvey, Derek, phrasing, rhyme schemes, and stuff like that. So it feels a little bit more cohesive lyric structure-wise. Thank you for the rose. I appreciate you. W, thank you for that. What's up, DJ?
You deserve better. How are you so loving in a world so broken? I'm almost in love with you, just trying to forgive myself.
Yeah, for sure. You hear all of the aliasing, all that high-end fuzz, all the artifact, for sure.
Put you through. Here I am,
I'm doing pretty good, DJ. Doing pretty good. How are you?
in a corner, feeling
W, if you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, but check the line first.
praying with all my soul to give myself some grace to rebuild my life, letting go of my past.
I love it. Staying warm, hopefully. I don't know where you're at, but hopefully staying warm.
Gives
Augusto,
me
welcome
just
in.
a little more hope to finally let go of my past, knowing my love for you
Belgium, okay, got you.
will last.
You might be doing better than us yet.
Thank you for loving me.
I am too, Derek. 2:20 a.m. Shout to you.
God's love is real for you to survive.
Andy Banks, welcome in.
Personal
Wrote it like a love letter. Yep.
I
Yep.
love you.
100%. I agree.
I love you.
Johnson, welcome in. Welcome in.
Hard, but loving you has set
Yeah,
me
I mean, I've done,
free
Derek, I've done some 8-hour lives
to
before.
live my life
It's something else. Like back when we lived in
the
Dallas,
way
I did like some 7-8 hour lives. That was
God
nuts.
intended it
Nuts.
to be.
It's so overstimulating too. Just so much noise. Hearing myself yell in my headphones for 8 hours is brutal. All right, all right, all right, all right. Let's go. Y'all, show some love. Show some love, show some love. That is Daniel Terrence, Forgive Myself. That song is out on all platforms, just so y'all know. That song is out on all platforms. Hey, I got a good attention because of live. I've been doing 100%. Yeah, I mean, I would recommend anybody who makes music, you mix, you produce, you engineer, you play instruments, you sing, you songwrite. Just do some of it on live. Do some of it on live. Like, it doesn't hurt. I mean, it's like annoying to set up and keep track of and answer questions and comments sometimes. Like, it can be distracting. It's one of the reasons why I don't mix a lot on live. I've done it a couple times where I was like engineering and mixing on live and stuff like that. I found it. I have crippling ADHD, so I feel like I was so distracted. I could not get any of the mix done. It did not work well for me. So I really don't. I might do that more often in the future, but I feel like I could not focus. I'd be like halfway between trying to like melodine this one note and then be like, oh my gosh, you're in here and here's your question. We'll talk about synths for 20 minutes. I'll be like, wait, what note was I just trying to figure out? It doesn't work well for my brain. So, maybe I'll do some more in the future if I can figure that part out, but it is challenging to like mix and be live at the same time. But it was kind of fun. It's just also kind of chaotic for me. All right, let's run this to the top. So our priority here, this song is generated, for those of you who don't know, lyrics were Daniel's, but the vocal and instrumentation was generated. So my priority in this is talking about song structure, formatting, building out your melodic and rhythmic phrasing for these vocals and stuff like that too, so that when you are working, because whether this vocal is generated or not, your goal is to work with a real vocalist to sing on these songs, and we want them to know exactly what they need to do, what phrasing, what melodic structure, how do we compartmentalize your hook, verse, and bridges and stuff like that in order to actually create a structure that is like, it's catchy and it has a movement that is easy to latch onto. People hear it and they remember it. There's not so much like run-on structure. This is what Bilbo talked about over on Purple App, but run-on structure and sentencing. Hold on, I gotta do my puzzle. Give me a sec. Gotta do my TikTok puzzle to let them know that I'm here and I'm not a robot. Let's see. Beautiful. No, I do not want to reset my computer. What are you talking about? No, do not update. Don't. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. I just got like 7 notifications of random stuff going on. Yeah, I love live, but this one is hard for me. Yeah, it's so much stimulus. I think just like listen, you're not only listening to the music, but also listening to yourself in your own ears constantly. And it's just like, it's a lot. It also takes a lot of energy to just like information recall constantly and stuff like that. That's the hardest part for me is I'm obsessed with getting into these like tiny details and in the structure of these songs, which is great and it's valuable and it's helpful hopefully and stuff like that. But it takes a lot of like brain power to like constantly be doing that hours and hours on end, song by song. So once I get off of this live, I'm kind of like a zombie. Like I'm like energetic and I'm here and I'm ready to go and I've had my caffeine or whatever and I'm fine. As soon as I get off, I'm like, doosh. It's like just like a complete like digital shutdown. Doosh. I just feel like my brain just completely turns off after this. Like, okay, time to brain rot and shut down because it's a lot. It's a lot going on at once. All right, but Daniel, we're going to talk about song structure. We're going to talk about like formatting and stuff like that. So we're going to chop through some different elements. The song's based on what I'm hearing, I believe it's B flat minor. Yes, it is. B flat minor. Beautiful. Okay, Jotun, I think. Let me double check for that here in a second. And just remember too, I mentioned this to APOC, who was here earlier. Just please double check the line first. I haven't gone and checked it yet, but make sure y'all check the line first because it's a shorter live today and the minimums are changing. And I want to make sure that that's really clear for everybody. That way I can get y'all in the right order as y'all are coming in. I want to make sure that that's really clear just because I have a limited slot of people that I can listen to. So I have to make sure that I change that order right there. So just double check that for me. Okay, sounds good, Lord. I just wanted to make sure. I always tried to do my best to make it as clear as possible without being annoying about it. All right, let's run into this one. So yeah, so it is B flat minor. I think to the 2 minor. So we have the 6 minor. To the 1 maybe. Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah. Okay. So I think we got like a handle on the progression there really quick. Yeah, when do you start working on the song? Yeah, good question. You can, I mean, you can just immediately hear like as good as generated stuff has gotten, like quality wise, there's some stuff out there that's like pretty good. The hardest thing to generate is real acoustic instrumentation, and even like on the vocal side, I've heard some good stuff. If you make like modern pop and R&B and like rap and stuff like that, which typically has Torvik be generating smiles. Hi, mine. That's so sweet. Thank you, man. That's so kind. But I feel like Seinfeld right there. That's so kind. And that's a horrible Seinfeld impression, so don't cancel me. But anyways, that's very, very kind of you. The one thing that it does horribly, what it does horribly is like acoustic instrument. Like if you just like, this is just like a random Roland plugin. It's not like some fancy plugin. It's just like comes in their subscription. And the difference between, whoops. It's not even close. It's not even close to the same thing. That's why I'm like, yeah, use it as a tool, start writing with it, do some demos with it. I don't, I care a little bit, but I don't care that much. Like, I just think people can do what they want to do, but I think they should have a goal of still working with people. That's the difference between, really, really being able to create something that's like a bit more polished, a bit more distinct, right? So it's going to make a world of difference being able, I could hear that Memorial Drive. I could hear that. 95 Christ, welcome in. Anyways, okay, so let's get into that's the goal. The goal is to be able to work with people because there's just nothing that's going to come close. Nothing that's going to come close depending on the style. Like I said, if you're making like super distorted, over compressed, nothing wrong with this, super distorted, over compressed, blah, 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 blah. Music with highly tuned, highly pocketed, quantized vocals and stuff like that are, have like 5 compressors on them and fresh air and whatever. Yeah, AI can kind of make that sort of like underground sound, and it's going to kind of sound whatever the same. If your vocals are already hissy with fresh air, AI is perfect for that. But real real instrumentation, like a real cello, a real like Steinway grand piano, it's going to be difficult to get the natural modulations and imperfections that come with that. I think it is better than just reading the lyrics. Sure, 100. Yeah, if you want it to be a music format, demoing with this, I think it can be a tool in that space. All right, let's get into the vocal structure here because that's the reason why we're here. I just wanted to, as we're talking about vocal structure, I want to be able to pick up on the melody, so I want to make sure that I can get into the actual chord progression of it on my own piano here, so we can replicate some of it.
I'm almost in love with you, just trying to forgive myself for what I put you through.
Thank you so much. Is it Kapitai? Thank you man, that means so much to me. Thank you for that.
I was living in the past, my walls blocking my love.
So like even here, as we're getting into like the first like 30 seconds of this song, right? We've already had 3 different changes in chord progression and vocal melody and lyric scheme. So no repetition of melody, no repetition of chord progression, and no repetition of like ending rhyme or anything like that, right? So what ends up happening, and this is not like a specifically bad thing, right? There's a lot of nuance to music, and there's a lot of different ways to do stuff. But when it comes to creating music that people remember, you probably want at least one of those things. Even if the lyrics are going to change and morph, you might want the same chord progression underneath. If the chord progression is going to move a lot, you might at least want the ending words of your like 2 measures to rhyme at least loosely, right? Remember, this is like reading a letter. I understand that, but if the goal is that people hear it and they like it and they remember it, you have to take that reading a letter format and still put it in a structure that is rememberable, that is memorable, rememberable. Jesus, y'all, I can't think. Memorable, right? And so that's where structure comes in, and that's what I want to dissect, and that's what I want to help here, because it's one thing to just have the song and have it exist, but if you want people to hear the message, and you want to get a vocalist on here, you want the vocalist to even be able to learn this, right? Like there's a lot to this, right? For the vocalist to be able to like memorize these lyrics and memorize the melodies and memorize the ending phrasing over a constantly changing chord progression with the production that's underneath it. There's a lot to that. So a lot of what you're going to get into is that a vocalist isn't going to want to work on it. People aren't going to remember it. It's not going to stick, and we want to find ways that it does, right? So it's not that the way that you're doing it is like wrong. It's that it makes it very challenging. And when music is challenging to people and you're wanting to put it out to a lot of people, odds are it's just not generally accepted. Specifically, then you add in the generated factor. That's going to be another blockade for people. It makes it very, very challenging for people to latch on to what you're doing, right? And so my goal is to find some ways that they can. Find some ways that we can take what you have here, what you've created. How can we get it to a vocalist? How can we make it palatable by a vocalist, palatable by a community and an audience? And so if you do get a chance to work with real session musicians and a real producer, work with a live vocalist, that there is enough of a structure here that they will actually want to be a part of that journey for you without as many limitations. So that's part of my goal here. So I'm trying to find a balance between your creative vision for it, like the letter and the stuff that you're talking about, like a love letter, I think is what you mentioned earlier. I want to find a balance between your creative vision for it and what is realistically going to be palatable by anyone. And how can we bridge that gap a little bit? But so my suggestion still would be to go to open mic night, do your poems live, make friends, see if one of the performers would work with you. There's a lot of distaste for AI in the community, and releasing music isn't the same as a demo. Might affect artists' willingness to work with you. That's true. That's true. That's not a that's a valid approach. Yeah, I mean, I think like yeah, so here's my perspective. I'm going to throw this out here before we get into the next part of it. I think I'm yanking my headphones out of here. Forget these detach sometimes and get stepped on. One sec. So I can hear myself again. I think what is probably the better approach. So I know a lot of people that make AI music, a lot. And there's thousands and hundreds of thousands. I don't know. There's like 10 million AI songs that are like put out every day or so. It's like, it's crazy, right? Because now people are just like, I made 4 albums today, right? Like the volume of generated music is massive, of course. So there's a lot. I know a lot of people that do it. I don't. If you invited me to work on a song and you were like, "Here's the Spotify link," I'd be like, "Yeah." It's like you're already there. Yeah, you're already kind of there. So here's my thing. I know a lot of people that make generated music. A lot. They're people people just like you that come through here every day that we work with all the time, that we consult on. We work on songwriting and stuff like that. Happens every single day that we get to work with people that are doing generated music and generating their songs and their lyrics and stuff like that into productions. I don't know a single one. And I'm telling you, I know so many, and I have seen on social media, I've seen on Spotify. I don't know a single one that has successfully translated, and I'm sure this has happened. So don't be like, it happens all the time. I'm sure it does. I'm sure this happens sometimes. I don't know a single one of the thousands and thousands of songs I hear all the time, and artists that I encounter all the time, that has successfully translated their fully generated stuff to songwriters, and it had real vocalists and songwriters and real bands pick up the song and do it. On the production side, I've had some success with people that generate. So like, people sometimes hire me to produce their songs that they've generated. That happens occasionally. In fact, I have one big project that I'm working on right now that has a bunch of artists on it. All the artists are real. They initially like generated a beat, all sung on it, and then they hired me to fully produce the record and then mix all of their vocals in on it as the engineer on the record. That happens sometimes. I don't know a single person that has successfully translated fully generated art or fully generated lyric structure and music into that, translating into like working with like someone who's sold it to. It's still new. It won't start happening for many years. Yeah, maybe there would have to be a reason why it starts happening in many, because things don't just happen. They don't just happen in a couple years. There's a wider adoption on the generation side. There's not always wider adoption on the consumer side. That's usually a pretty like strict line. Like most people are like not really in the middle. Like most people are like, yeah, AI songs are funny, and I've seen some like interesting things. And have you heard like the soul version of this song? Like, and most people have pretty much adopted it or said as soon as I know a song is AI, I ignore it. Like it's pretty split, right? What's up, Retrack? Welcome in. But we're talking on the professional side, right? So if you ignore the consumer side, which is gonna move around a little bit. Some people were like, oh yeah, I heard this house track. I didn't even know it was AI, and I just liked it, and it was fine. Like there's gonna be consumers, right? But we're talking about the professional side. So we're talking about your desire to work with vocalists, work with songwriters, and work with musicians. That requires legalities. That requires points. That requires publishing splits. That requires royalty structure and distribution. All of that requires structure that is more and more and more difficult to adopt. And there's actual legalities around it, and money that surrounds it. There are more writers than singers, and there are more writers than singers, and there are many singers. I disagree with that. I feel like I feel like in my like random group of I'd pretty strongly disagree with that. I know like in my group of like let's say there's like 100 people that I like know around me. You know, like, I don't know, like my friends and my family and whatever. I know 40 of those people can like sing pretty well. You know what I mean? Like, 30 or 40 of those people like can hold a tune and can sing pretty well. Quite literally like me and one other one actually write songs. So I don't know if I would agree that the number of people that write stuff, like write poetry and write songs, far outnumbers singers. I think there's a lot of people that can sing and a lot of people that can like hold a tune loosely. Um, I don't know anyone who writes. It's very few people that actually like sing songs and can sing in the car and hold a tune and like can like generally pick up on the structure of music and like remember rap lyrics and like stuff like that. There's like very few of them actually translate that to like writing their own stuff. There are more I generate but I use my own words. That way my emotions are conveyed. That's what we're hearing here too. The writers that have never been writing is the magic. Yeah. I think I'm missing the end of that comment or that statement right there. But anyways, okay, so here's what I was. This is the full circle theory thing, and then we'll get a little bit deeper into this, right? Just for a moment, because I don't want to spend too much time just like ranting on this. I don't care if they give AI an idea and it writes. Everyone's going to have a pretty strong. That's what I was saying earlier. People have a pretty strong approach and a strong hometown. Thank you for the rose. I appreciate it. A pretty strong approach and a strong opinion when it comes to AI. What I think most songwriters would prefer is for you to come. This is what Memorial Drive, who's a very talented. They're talented writers, vocalists, and talented producers and musicians, right? So these are people that do work in this space, that work as session musicians, and work in the world that you're trying to get access to, right? Access to vocalists, access to other writers, access to real musicians to bring your ideas and your demos to life, right? Those people would 99 times out of 100 rather you just come with the poetry, not the demo, because the demo is in a box that is a bit rigid. And thank you for the follow, Uncle. I appreciate it. Uncle, thank you for the follow. You're in a box that probably already has some limitations to it, already has some like false melodic structure that doesn't really make sense, some phrasing that's a little odd, where like one lyric they put at the end of this verse that probably should have just been the start of the hook, and so on and so on. Like there's things that haven't been formatted well, where most of these people would rather be like, hey, I've written down all of these lyrics. You work with a collaborative team of writers. You get like two other people in a room, one who has a piano and an acoustic guitar, or someone else who has an acoustic guitar, and you as the poet and the writer, and another songwriter and a vocalist that has a piano. You sit in a room and you go through these lyrics and you say, oh, that's a beautiful line. Let's move that to the second verse. Let's move it over here. But if it's already a structure, or it's like, oh, what you did at the start of that verse, was really nice. I think that actually works well if we repeat it as the hook, and then we can build on the second hook. That's way more enticing for the vocalist that you're trying to work with, the writers you want to collaborate with, the structure that you're trying to build that makes sense for a consumer so that they actually stream it. That's the goal, right? Like we don't want this to go to the void. If we just want it to go to the void and we don't care if it streams, don't pay for distribution. That doesn't make sense. If you are out here paying for distribution, then you want people to hear it. And so if you want people to hear it, we need to build structure around it. And so if you want that to happen, then we need to work with people early on in that process to help shape that structure. The problem with AI, the difficulty with AI, again, this is not necessarily a pro or con thing, but the difficulty, the challenge of AI is it takes you from first idea to finished. And so you've bypassed all of that. Hometown, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. You've bypassed all of that back and forth that I'm talking about with the other collaborators and the vocalist who's actually going to be singing it to have input to shape and maneuver it around and manipulate the structure and put and give pushback on the way that the verse is formatted and stuff like that. We've bypassed all of that, right? And so that makes it challenging for it to be palatable by a consumer, by an audience, by the musicians that you want to work with, because we've already come from here all the way to mastered track released to Spotify in distribution. We've skipped a lot of process. And again, I'm not saying that as a pro or con against or for AI. That's just the reality of it. And so I think what we have to figure out is, and what Memorial Drive is saying that I agree with, is that if your goal, so you came in with your goal being like, I want to work with people, I want to collaborate, I want to get real vocalists on this, right? And I respect that so much. Not everyone has that. Not some people are like, dude, I want to put out 7 albums a day every day and see if I can make millions of dollars on Spotify. Let's just see. Let's just see what happens. You're not necessarily doing that. You're saying, I want to work with people, I want to grow, I want to collaborate, I want to get some real people on my music and use this as a tool to help me demo and use it as a tool to get my inspired art, my poetry out there. And because you have great poetry, you have great lyrics, you have great, great things going for you. Those are all great, beautiful things that takes talent and takes expertise and takes a maturity in your craft. I respect all of that. But I think what Memorial Drive is saying that I agree with is that you're going to have a very difficult time reaching the people that you want to reach if you don't bring them into the equation very, very early on. That to me is a challenge. If you're sending people finished things, my biggest goal is to have my words heard. So all we're saying still applies. Everything that we're saying still applies. Structure still applies. How you put it out there is still applies, right? So I hope all that makes sense. I'm going to push a little bit farther into the song here. I think you said a couple things earlier here. Well, I have been a published Arthur. Well, I've been so hold on. Well, I have been a published author for over 20 years, 2 published poetry books. AI have tried to get my poems turned into songs and had no connections. I'm open to changing the structure. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, again, your writing skill is not the question. It's your ability with input and collaborators to change the structure, like you're talking about, right? Like your ability to take what you have and mold it into something that's the same story, the same heart, the same soul of your beautiful poetry that you're very talented at writing, and actually put it into something that people are going to want to hear. Like you said, I want my words to be heard. So, what are the barriers to your words being heard? Is it the fact that it's generated? Is it the structure of it? Is it the quality of the music itself? I think it's a sprinkling of everything, to be honest. I think it's a sprinkling of everything. I think there's going to be some barriers just because it's generated and people don't know the line. People, honestly, I bet you there are people in this chat here, and I'm not necessarily saying this because I don't know. I just know what you're telling me, and I choose to accept what you're telling me. I bet you there's people in this chat that probably don't even think you wrote it, right? That is going to be a barrier, whether it's true or not. Like I said, I'm not saying it is. I'm trusting what you're telling me, just because I have no reason not to. But there's going to be people that are like, he generated everything. Maybe he just generated the lyrics too. Like, I don't know. Like, like that there's going to be a barrier. The AI is going to be a barrier part because the AI is a barrier to, for some people, to the credibility of it, as well as the quality of the end result, right? In this case, what you release to Spotify, those are going to be barriers, and those are going to be barriers to the people you want to work with as well. So that's why I'm saying, like, use it as a demo tool. Use it to like inspire your ideas. What's up, Baby Blue? Welcome in. I have songs on TikTok that have had hundreds of thousands of views. That's very true, Memorial Drive. That's very true. Yeah, it's an interesting space. Like I said, I'm not here to like fight for either one. I think there is value in people expressing themselves creatively, right? So like some people create out of necessity. You know what I mean? Some people like, man, this is something that is like music and art and expressing myself creatively is how I stay alive. You know what I mean? Like it is so important to me to put myself out there, put my stuff out there, put my voice out there. Hey, thank you so much, Blue. I appreciate you stopping by today. So I get it. So that's why I'm not here. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Daniel. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm not like shunned to all the generated stuff. And I'm not like and I'm also not like pro it, right? Because I know the limitations. I know some of the ethical limitations of it. There's a lot, right? There's a lot there. Uh, Robbed IP and all kinds of stuff, right? There's a lot to it. There's a lot of nuance to that. Blocked by publishers, and distribution services, stuff like that. There's a lot of limitations, but I'm not here to be like anti it or pro it. I'm someone who understands nuance. I'm someone who understands that the reasons why people do what they do is often nuanced, and often has its own reasoning. So that's why I'm not here to trash it. I'm also here to encourage the formation of how you can actually execute this better. I think you would probably get more vocalists, more session musicians. 100%, 100%. Yeah, I think it'll be so if our goal, so like let's and then I'll move on, and then I'll move on. If end goal is vocalist on my song, if that's end goal, right? So like no matter what's generated, no matter what's AI, no matter what's whatever. If end goal is I want a singer on my song, I think you are more likely to get a singer on your song by just sending them poetry and saying, I need you to help me make this a real song, than you are if you send them a released, AI generated song and saying, I want you to do what the AI did. There's ego in that, right? You know what I mean? Like there's kind of like, oh, what? Like I'm supposed to do what this like highly tuned, saturated, like artificial vocal is doing. It's a little strange for someone who has like spent their life building skills as a vocalist and a writer, right? I think if you're like at the end of the day, I want a vocalist on my song. What's going to lead to that? I think if you market yourself strictly not as an artist and not as a AI generated artist or something like that, but you spend your entire pay saying I'm a poet. I want to bring my songs to life with beautiful singing and real musicians and stuff like that. I can almost assure you that you are more likely to translate that. I don't want them to do what AI did at all. I just want them to hear the words. Then don't do the AI. That's my record. And again, that's not an anti-AI stance. That's if you don't want them to, because all they're going to hear is what the AI did. That's all anyone's going to hear. If you send people AI, that's all they're gonna hear. This is the reality of it. It's sonics, right? If you send them AI and be like, hey, I want your voice on my song, well, they've heard a song. They've heard a structured 4.5 minute mixed production with piano and strings and trumpets, and then you're like, well, actually, don't do that. Do whatever you want to do. I just want you to hear the lyrics. If you just got on like live stream and you just spent like 2 hours a day live streaming at night or whatever, right? I'm making this up, but like, live streaming at night, just like reading poetry, and you had a tag on there that said looking for vocalists to sing my poetry. I don't know, something like that, whatever. Like I'm just making this up right now. And you just spent like, or let's say an hour, and you have a book, you said you have 2 published books of poetry. That's killer. That's amazing. You have 2 published books of poetry. So get on or post about this on your page with no AI, post about this on your page and do live streams where you say, I am a 2-time published or like a multiple time, multi, whatever. I don't know what you would call this, a multi-published poet who has sold thousands of copies or whatever, right? I've sold however many copies of my poetry, and it's time for me to bring my poetry to life with your voice. And you get people that are coming in that want to sing, that want to be a songwriter, but maybe they don't have the words. Like you said, there's a lot of singers out there, but I think the limitation is going to be the AI. It's going to be because people are going to be like, well, I don't want to sing what they're singing. The structure doesn't make sense anymore. And then at the end of the day, you're kind of just like at a deficit. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making a little bit of sense in here. Y'all let me know. I feel like I'm a little bit in the water, or in the weeds, but I feel like you're putting yourself at a deficit, not because it's AI, necessarily, but because you are actually putting yourself several steps back instead of just going straight to it. We're off the rail, but this is the whole breakdown. There's no mix breakdown. There's no production breakdown. This is the whole breakdown. So I'm fine with this. This is the whole consultation is songwriting structure, talking about the way that it actually, yeah, works in the industry and stuff like that. What's up, D Busy? Welcome in. There's no mixed breakdown for this anyways, but I think at the end of the day, that's what I want you to keep in mind. You said you did that on Facebook back in the day. Dude, TikTok is now. Right? So, dude, of course, I appreciate it because I think these are really important conversations to have around AI. They are because either It's usually one or the other, right? You show up with the AI and people are like, "You're a piece of shit. You're trash." Like, like you're like, "No AI." Like, and again, we can all have our opinions on that. And you just get shut down and you're like, "Okay, fine. I'll just keep doing the BS that I'm doing. I'll just keep doing whatever and see what happens with it." And then you never get any help, you never get any support. No one actually directs you because they just shut you down. And I don't think that's necessarily the wisest thing to do to guide people with what you're doing. Or it's the other way where everyone's like, "Oh, this is perfect and AI art's going to take over," when it's not necessarily, right? And I think there's a balance. There is a balance of like, how can we bridge this gap? How can we take what you're doing, the very real and credible skills that you have? You are a published poet. You have real, credible, quantifiable skills in putting words together. That is a superpower. A lot of writers wish that they had that. We need to kind of cut through all the weeds, right? We need to cut through all the bullshit and be like, how do I just get this to people? So I would encourage you to connect with your strengths and your skills and your credibility and market yourself as such. I'm a multiple time published poet and I need singers. And instead of posting AI all the time, post that 3 times a day, every single day for the next month. And if you don't get a single vocalist from that, rephrase, reframe, try it a different way. But I can almost assure you, if you say, "I'm a multiple time, several thousands copies sold, published poet," I have amazing, credible word structure. I need amazing vocalists to bring them to life. I can almost assure you someone would love to do that. But you got to put that specifically out there at scale. If it's people are hearing finished products, they're like, I don't know. They feel probably any vocalist, any like genuinely talented vocalist, credible vocalist, is probably going to feel you've bypassed me. You know what I mean? They probably feel like, "Hey, I need vocalists." And they're like, "You've already like just made one up." That's kind of insulting, right? Like if you really think about it. If like someone came to me and was like, "Hey, I've got this drum, like this like finished like synth thing, and it's like I just created a whole synth track," and they're like, now you be the synth." I'd be like, it feels weird. It feels a little odd. Like it feels like a little at odds to the thing that I've spent all of my time working on for you to just like send that. So I think I would just cut out the middleman. I don't honestly don't. The thing is, I don't think you need it because you're a good writer. I hope this is kind of helpful. I hope it's kind of helpful. Y'all please show some love to Daniel because it's much less about the song structure itself and how you navigate your creativity, if that makes sense. I think it's way more about how you navigate this world and this industry and how you create and stuff like that, than it really matters like that you're using AI. Um, Bilbo said, I published 6 books last month using AI. I really wanted my story to be heard and just had like the main storyline, but in not a good enough writer to write 30 chapters. My main goal is to work with an author on that book. You could pick the book up at Barnes and Noble. Let me know if you want to work on it. Trying to speak. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that makes sense, right? It's like I'm trying to work with authors. I've already released a bunch of like fake books, right? Or whatever. Like that's how it's going to be perceived. And that makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. So I hope, Daniel, I hope this was helpful for you. I'm telling you right now, you will get more out of what you're doing if you just cut through the noise and go for what you're going for, which is to go directly to a vocalist and allow them the creative space to build on what you're doing. I really hope that you're able to do that because I think you'll be so much better off for it. So much better off for it. Yeah, please show some love. Show some love, show some love. And for one, not everybody is vulnerable enough to do that too. So I do appreciate your vulnerability. We do get AI occasionally on here. So I do really appreciate you coming in, being honest about your use of AI, being vulnerable with your process. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for the hat and mustache. I appreciate that a lot. So I genuinely do. I appreciate your vulnerability. I appreciate your ability to send that in. And I do think you have some real skills on the writing side. It's now just time to point that in the right direction. Because you're telling me the direction already. Point that in the right direction. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Of course, Memorial Drive. Thank you for your input as well. I appreciate that a lot. Okay, give me 2 seconds. Let me update just a few things here. I know I'm moving too slow, y'all. We're talking about a lot of stuff. Hopefully, it's valuable for everybody. I really do hope it is. Because I feel like, Jess, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Yo, yeah, and I've literally had it's funny. Most of y'all know this already, but I am a classically trained pianist. I've played piano since I was 6 years old. I did guild, I did all of that fun stuff. So I've played piano my entire life, and I also play it professionally. So people hire me as a session musician doing piano. So I have I've got all of the stuff, and I know a lot in that space. And we do have people that come in. We had someone that came in for a while who was sending us a different genre every single time, claiming it was his. He sent a metal track. He's like, "This is me." He sent a country song. He said, "This is me," and it obviously sounded like AI. And he always had some like BS that he was saying that was like the reason why it sounded that way. He's like, "Yeah, I used two SM57s and pointed them in opposite directions. That's why my voice sounds like this. It was a trick we were trying to do." And I was like, they were just doing stuff like that. And then one time he sent in a classical piano piece that he wrote, that he played and wrote, and it was so obviously AI. It was like funny. He sent it in, and I was like 3 seconds in, because I've already heard five of this guy's songs, and I was like, "This is obviously this is." I was like, "This is AI," and he's like, "No, it's not." And I was like, "Well, yes, I mean, it for sure is. Like, it for sure is AI. Like, literally, it's like quantized artifact. It's all fuzzy and glitchy and like popping all over the place. So it's obviously, it's like it's obvious. It's so obvious." And he's like, "No, I've been a classical piano player for 48 years. This is actually just a 5 minute snippet of me playing 4 hours straight." And like it was like he was very strong on it. He's like, "I hate that you're even saying this. I really trusted you." Or like it was like going through all of this stuff. And I was like, "Dude, I know how to like actually I know how to actually play piano. Like I know all the stuff." And I was like, "What plugin are you using?" Because he's like, "I did it on this random keyboard." And I was like, "Well, what plugin are you using?" And he told me the exact plugin and preset for it, which he just Googled really quick. And I actually had the plugin and preset that he said. I was like, "Oh, you mean this one?" And started playing that one. Sounds completely different. And it's like some people just like come in trying to like pull one on you. I don't know. But I was like, it was just funny, like when people come in and like, "Yeah, I'm a classically trained, I'm a classical pianist. And this is the plugin that I'm using." And me as a classical pianist pulls up that plugin and is like, "This is not what's happening." This is not what's happening. Also, no classical pianist is sitting there straight for 4 hours. Like for someone who did all of the lessons and did guild and did all that fun stuff, like you're not sitting there for 4 hours and nonstop moving, playing something. It's not even how it works. Doesn't even make sense. Anyways, that's besides the point. So I do appreciate the being upfront. Like imagine like a guitarist. Imagine a guitarist being like, "Yeah, just I've been playing scales for 7 hours straight." I was like, your fingers would fall off. Like the best guitarists in the world, they might spend like 45 minutes running through scales and arpeggios and different sweeps and stuff like that, and like skill building and stuff like that. Like you might spend 30 minutes doing that, but then you stop and then you come back to it. Like you don't spend, like, as someone who's worked with so many session musicians and worked with so many producers and amazing, talented, credible musicians. That's not the real world. People want to like fake impressive things, and it actually ends up just seeming silly. Like, and also I'm like, okay, if you're playing 4 hours straight every day for the last 40 years, and this is what you have to show for it, you should probably shift your energy a little bit. Okay, Cali City, man has bricks for fingertips. It's crazy. It's crazy. Imagine, it's wild. That's what I don't want to do. I know I'll get hate for AI, but I'd rather that than not. Yeah, 100%. There's always gonna be people that are frustrated at the use of it, as I've talked to in depth, right? I've talked about this in depth. There's always gonna be people that hate. I don't feel like that's my role. I'm not here to dictate how you create. I think that's different for everybody, but I do want to be honest, and I do want to guide you into a way that your creativity does actually matter. Like if you are a writer using it, or you're a singer using production to build it, like I want to point you in the right direction. I think it's either people that are sugarcoating it, just saying, "Yeah, you're amazing. Everything you do is valid." And then there's the other side that's just like hating on you and saying you're a piece of shit. Neither of those are helpful. Neither of those are helpful for anybody who's a true creative and really wants to do something with what they're doing. I want to be honest, and I want to be real about its layer in the music industry, how people are approaching it. Someone who has worked with a lot of people who use AI, who is talking to a lot of people who use AI, and also knows like Grammy winning and Grammy nominated phenomenal musicians, like the best trumpeteers in the world, the best pianists in the world, some of the best audio engineers in the world that I know and am in circles with. Like I see both sides of the world, and we've got to be honest about the gap. We've got to be honest about the lay of the land in between all of that. Otherwise, nobody wins. Nobody wins if we are just praising everything or trashing everything. There's got to be nuance. Got to be nuance. Okay, let me double check a few things. I gotta get a couple things updated here. Yeah, you. All right, I'm talking so much, y'all. I'm gonna lose my voice. Let me see. Let me just double check these submissions here really quick. I just want to make sure I have everything in order. So I got to make sure that the right names are up here. So I think, and really quick, y'all, I'm going to be closing up here in the very, very near future. I really don't have a lot of time today, yet I am ranting. That's why it's called Track Talk, because I like to talk, and my brain talks a lot. Okay, APOC, was that extra 10 from you? Is that extra? I think I got that from you. I just want to double check here. I think it's the same name, but it's a different name. Okay, got you. So let me get you where you need to be. Let me get everything organized here since we're done with that one. But please show some love to Daniel, though. I genuinely do appreciate the vulnerability, and I do appreciate the willingness to send stuff in for critique and stuff like that. I think that's important. I got time for like 3 more songs, y'all. I got time for like 3 more songs. It's like I mentioned this at the start of the live. It's not going to be very long. Not going to be very long today. If anyone else did submit, so right now I've got Lord APOC, I've got Derek, Liane, Amelie up on the board, and another like 5 or 6 on the board already. I've got you up there. If I missed someone, and you did send in, got you, Derek. Got you. I appreciate you. Let me get you moved. Let me get everything updated here. I'm going to try to update since I ranted for too long. Get everything where it needs to be. Because I know y'all got places to be. Y'all got to get warm before this ridiculous ice storm if you're here. Yeah, if you want to submit, you can. I got you. I'm gonna run Derek next, and we're gonna keep things flowing here so I can get into a good groove here. I think I have everything updated. If I didn't say your name there, please let me know. If I didn't say your name and you're up on the board, because some of these are from the other day, but I'm keeping y'all up. Derek, Lord APOC, Liane, and Amelie. If I didn't say your name and you submitted, Joe Tun, am I saying that correctly? You submitted. Is it SK? Is that you? SK, is that you? That's you. Oh, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna have you up there, but you would did you check the line? I'm gonna get you on there, but you submitted after I had already moved it, so I want to make sure that I have everything in the right order. So I'm gonna get you on there. I gotta get you. It's at the Red app. So if you go to my profile, click on the link, you'll see exactly right there. Either Red app is YT. I just have to be cryptic here on TikTok. I'm gonna get you up on the board. I'm gonna get you up there, but I have to get you in the order on the line right there. So yeah, definitely check that, because that determines on the line. I constantly update how many people are there, how many songs I have left, the order, the minimum, so I know that you can get heard, so on and so on. So I always want to keep that updated. Okay, let me get this over here. Beautiful. Yeah. I got you up there. So I do have you on the line. Derek, let's get it. I'm not gonna waste any more time. I got Derek Bennett in the building. I know what Derek is looking for the most part. So let's dive into it. This is Crucified featuring Eva Luna Ortiz. This is unfinished. You heard an early version of this instrumental, unmixed demo with the vocals. Okay, let's get it. So this is currently an unmixed demo with the vocals, correct? Let's dive in. Let's dive in. Let me get this downloaded really quick. Give me just one moment. Like I said, y'all, I have time for 3 songs. I got time for 3 songs. It's a shorter live today. I might, if my power is not out because of our ridiculous ice storm, then I will probably be on for a couple hours tomorrow. I'm not positive. So I'll do my best. It just depends. I still have to like work on some projects, but if I don't have power, if I don't have Wi-Fi, then I can't do a whole lot about that. So I might try to get on for a little bit tomorrow. We'll see what I have the capacity for. But let's dive in. This is Derek Bennett. If you haven't heard him before, he's a phenomenal composer and producer. He produced and wrote everything you're about to hear. Let's get into it. Derek said, my yard and driveway is a solid sheet of ice right now. Jeez, at least you still have power. And also, if you catch Derek live, go show some love. Send him some flowers. Send him some roses and stuff. All right, let's get into it. Yeah, stay safe, man. It's time. Beautiful vocal. Oh yeah, I remember this. I remember this production. I love the push and pull. The dynamics are really interesting. We might need to clean up a little bit of that progression before this hit. Nice, good harmonies. I got you. 1 minute. Let me get through the song first. Appreciate you tapping in, Gerard. Thanks for joining. Love the build-up, man. Love the dynamics.
If the sun sets you free, then you're free indeed.
I like the triplets.
Why do we wait when the price has been paid? The war has been won. Run to the light, it's all that we got. Why do we run from the truth that we know? The victory is mine forever.
Let's go, Derek.
We're no longer slaves. We're no longer slaves. We're no longer slaves.
Let's go. Really cool dynamics, man. The dynamics are really nice on this. It's really nice. The natural minor, I think, is what that little natural minor right there. It's a chef's kiss. Really beautiful. It's a great movement right there that gives it so much tension. Y'all show some love to Derek Bennett. Let's run it from the top. Let's dive into some details. I've heard parts of this production before, but now we have vocals over it. Gladiator vibes, 100%. Now we got some vocals on here, so we can talk about vocal structure, like tuning melodic structure, make sure that matches, as well as there's one pocket of production, or pocket of progressions right in the middle of the track that gets a little bit muddy, almost too much tension to it. So I want to navigate that really briefly, see if there's any way we can polish that up slightly. There's one little section there, but your dynamics are great. Your sound design's great. Just needs to be balanced, needs to be mixed, of course. As you get into that process, this is still a demo, unmixed. So I mainly want to talk about vocal melodic structure as needed in that pocket of progression. Beyond that, should be good. Just need to balance it. This is Crucify, a demo by Derek Bennett. Let's get into it. And then Gerard, thank you so much for tapping in today. I really appreciate you being here. Technically, sending this off this weekend, beautiful. This weekend being like today or tomorrow, because this weekend literally right now. Jenna, welcome in. Jenna, good to see you. I'm sorry if I missed you earlier as well. Thank you for tapping in. Really quick, let me see. Yeah, if y'all do want to submit, I still have time for a couple songs here, just like literally maybe 2 more after this one. And right now the line is open. You still can skip, but you do need to keep in mind the minimums, the order, and stuff like that. Anybody that I do not hear today will be saved, of course. Will be saved easily. I never listen without you. I'll always make sure that you're here for your breakdown. So if I don't get to your song today, I've got a detailed list of your name and credit to make sure that you're solid, you're good to go. Stakes, welcome in. Good to see you, man. Appreciate you tapping in. All right, let's run it from the top, and let me go ahead and update this as well. Give me 2 seconds, Derek. So I've got right now that's Liane and Lord APAC. Or I keep saying Jesus. I keep saying APAC. I'm so sorry. Too much news. Lord APAC and Liane. Jesus. Okay. Let me Back it up. Okay, let's run it from the top. Let's run it from the top. Love, 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 love the intro. Like this whole early part of the structure, that little high vocal right there, the movement over that, over the major, the D sharp major in this case, which kind of, I love that. Like that, again, you're over kind of the natural minor. It's lovely. It's beautiful. That with the high vocal, fabulous. It's really, really. I'm sorry, APOC. I gotta get it right. Although I might do better. Well, okay, I should have said. I was gonna say, well, yeah, whatever. I was saying I might do better on this app if I just call you the other name. Let's run it from the top. Let's get into some of these melodies here. These are beautiful. Really, really well done. I might get an algorithmic boost. Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. I love it. I love it. Beautiful. Like all of this early structure is so good. I hope that was okay. Boom. Hold on, let me see. I hope that was okay. Lovely. Just said it's 2 a.m. here, and I'd love to hear you put in before I fall asleep. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Let me double check real quick. I just want to see. Yeah, I got you. Thank you so much. Yeah, let me get you up. I got you. No worries at all. Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah. This early pocket, I like it. Of course, it's unmixed. It is still demo phase. So that Derek said, yeah, the next few days, forgot what day it was. I was like, he said, I'm sending it off this weekend. I'm like, well, it's now. That's tonight, baby. You don't got a whole lot of, you better get this right tonight. Yeah, you're right in the middle of it. Yeah, next couple days. Sounds good. I was like, hold on. She's such a great vocalist. I love her voice. It's fantastic. It cuts. It's very confident. Just great expression, great projection from her vocal. Sounds awesome. It's really, really well done. I also love the hold, in this case, over the D sharp. Like that movement between the major and the minors, gorgeous. I love it. Brass is heavy. So now there's a progression coming up here. That's what I want to target, and then we'll move on. We should be able to move fairly quickly through this since I've heard most of the production. I just want to hear the melody over the progression, see if there's anything you need to edit about that to match what you have on the vocal. So there's just one progression here that we're digging into, and then we should be able to move pretty quickly. Hear that again. I think it's the next one. Heavy. Right there. So there's your big spiccatos in the background. So your G major, or I'm sorry, not the, but the G accidental here for the natural minor, the G accidental right here over the D sharp. That's the whole core of the energy around this structure, right? That's what makes it feel so interesting and so dynamic. You hit in this particular production, on this progression right here, you'll hear your main energy, like your main spiccatos that are dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. That main energy right there, you hear it here. You hear it hit the G early when it's still over like a C sharp core. What that does, the G only makes sense as a natural minor, and it only makes sense in the context of this particular progression. It only makes sense over the D sharp, right? So if I'm here and I hit that G right on this chord. Nasty. It's like very augmented. If I hit it over the C sharp, nasty, right? But when I go here, Beautiful, right? The G only makes sense in the context as a natural minor on the D sharp major. So make sure as you're walking through progression that you only move your strings to a G if it's supported by a D sharp. That's like your one little guideline right there. So you'll hear here for a second. I think the strings stay on the B or the C sharp, and you'll hear the D happen on the spiccatos, the big heavy ones that you have in there. Before like the vocal moves there, that's where like a little bit of like mud and tension is happening. So let me move there for a second. Right there. Duh, duh. And I think it's hitting it over a little early. Yeah, duh, duh. It hits like a notch early. In my personal opinion, that tension is not super beneficial to the feeling in the song. It feels a little nasty. It feels a little muddy underneath all of these other elements that are kind of holding all of these elements at the same time. Granado, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. So yeah, let me play it one more time, and you're gonna hear it hit da 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 ba, and then it goes back again. Just make sure that that doesn't hit until the 1, right? So in this case, it would be like. You hear yours goes da, and then back to the 1. I'll play it again. Right there. Da, da, ba, and then it goes back again. I'll play it one more time. I'll try to give you an exact timeline here too. 58. At 58 seconds, it hits the G before you're back balanced with the D sharp major. So you don't necessarily get the harmonic minor. There's a lot of tension there. So I would just relieve that tension a little bit, because most of the song has tension, because most of it, you're kind of over the D sharp. Right? Most of it, you're over like this heaviness, staying on that progression already. But if you're going to work with a harmonic minor, in this case, going back to the major, make sure that it fits. Make sure it fits that accidental right there. Otherwise, it is going to feel muddy. It is going to feel kind of like it's got tension. Again, most of the song has tension, but it's in a way that it feels like it's not maybe the most beneficial. All right, there's one other progression coming up here in a second. Shane, thanks for tapping in. Ari, I appreciate you being here so much. Technically, we're about to close up the lines here. I only have time for 2 more songs. So if you want to submit, I would suggest that you check the line on the Red app, YT. Check the line to order the minimums over there. In fact, actually, you need to update it again, because I only have time for 2 more songs. So the line is going to be higher because we had a bunch of people come in, and I only have time for 2 more. So you definitely can still submit. Just check the line first, check the order. If you want to see where to submit, just go to my profile, click on the link, and read through the details there. I might be on, if I still have power, I will probably be on for a little bit tomorrow, but these are going to be our last couple songs right here. John, welcome in. Good to see you. Last two songs. If I can get on tomorrow and I have power and Wi-Fi and stuff, I'll try to. And then it'll be live every day this next week, I'm pretty sure. Okay, breakdowns are clean here. Love the dynamics once again. So let's listen for this one. Hey, thank you so much, John. Yeah, same. So far, we're good. We're South Texas. We're San Antonio. So it's more, thankfully, we moved out of Dallas 7 months ago. So thankfully, we're not still in Dallas for another year, because I think Dallas is going to get, hit pretty hard with just ice and like really bad conditions. So I'm grateful that we're a little bit farther south. It will freeze. It'll probably be kind of icy, and, we might get some snow, some light stuff, but I'm hoping that it doesn't shut down everything down here. So I hope all of y'all are well too. I hope y'all are safe. I know a big, like 40% of the country is going to be under ice. So I mean that as far as storms go. But I'm hoping y'all stay warm, stay safe as much as you can. Make sure you're taken care of. Don't do anything crazy. It's gonna be kind of wild out there. Outcast is in the building. What's up, Outcast? Good to see you in here. But yeah, I hope y'all take care of yourselves too. I know it's kind of wild. It's kind of wild out there. But hopefully it's not too bad here. I think it's going to get down to 26 for a couple hours and then come back up. But I don't think it'll be too crazy. I don't think it'll stick. Okay, I think it's this progression right here. So let's dive in right here really quick, Derek. as well. No, that's beautiful. I like that. Actually, that's a really, really nice harmony structure. Keep that. Appreciate you. Yeah. Most of this is, again, balancing aside all the stuff you already just need to go into. Most of this is like pretty straightforward. It's pretty straightforward.
If the sun sets you
Good
free,
movement.
then you're free indeed. Why do we wait when
And I would get, are these aren't your new drums, are they? These are the original drums you had on this progression, or like or that you had on this production.
the price has been paid, the war has been won? Run to the light, it's all that we got.
These are the metal drums. Yeah, yeah. They've metal. Yeah, the cinematic ones are fine. It's probably fine. You could probably get away. You could probably get away with these. It's a little more like Trans-Siberian. You know what I mean? You could probably get away with these once they're balanced a little bit better because they're a little sharper, a little more like transient and slicey. You'll probably be fine. In this context, I don't know if they're my favorite just because they're obviously unmixed and so they're not kind of built into the production. They feel really soft and thin right now, and I know they won't once they're balanced a little bit better. So I'll wait that out. I'll wait that out. Right now, I think they pull back so far. I did change my worship drums on the other track. We had issues. It sounds so good now. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The last one you sent in that had those drums was one of the best early productions I've heard from you in like a year. It was so good. It was so good. It's so much better. So like, I'm kind of curious. I'm like, what if you drop those in there? But also the last thing you want to do is like all of a sudden you're just like using all the exact same drums again on something different. They're so good. Yeah, they're so good. These might work fine once they're mixed. Play it by ear, hear how it sounds once it's mixed. It might cut through in a way that feels a little bit more, a little bit more balanced, a little bit more cohesive, but keep an ear on that and just see if you get them balanced and like, ooh, these still sound kind of like thin and tinny, then I would probably switch out for a more natural, deeper acoustic kit and see how it sounds. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Let me hear this low brass really quick. Let me hear this. Is the brass doing a D sharp and an E on that walk down right there? Kind of sounds like it. Kind of sounds like a, yeah, it kind of walks down from there. Could be balanced in the mix. That's possible. The only thing I'm worried about is the sub, like your main bass, your main chord. So like 90% of what's happening in the mix is straight D sharp, right? So basically you have all of this happening at the same time, and then you randomly kind of hear like there's a little bit of that kind of bends into it, but because it's such a low, like there's so much energy and like those low mids and lows where the sub bass is hitting in addition to, that's basically what you're hearing. You're hearing a bend from here down into the D sharp. It makes it sound really muddy to me. I think because there's so much energy from the strings, there's so much movement, there's a lot of low end information. You have the drums moving really consistently, staccato's going, vocal structure. To me, it just sounds kind of noisy right there. I don't know if the bend is really to the benefit of that progression right there. If anything, you could bend higher, do 4 semitones and go from the G down to the D sharp or something like that. So you get a whatever, like you get a nicer movement right there. But the E to the D sharp to me sounds pretty muddy after this breakdown right here. unless you do like you use the bass too. It'd have do do. So you have, and then you go. You know what I mean? Like you have like everything moves through the E to the D sharp and gives you all of this texture and movement right there. But I do think if it's just the one instrument in the low end with the bass that does the E, it's gonna sound like it just kind of competes with every. You have these two notes hitting at the same time. If there's nothing to like complement it and like allow it to fit into that scale, it's gonna sound pretty high tension. Pretty high tension. Okay, let me get into the outro really quick and we'll move on. Love the intro and outro. Gold Near Edge, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you a lot. Intro and outro. Intro outro is beautiful. Really, really well done. Most of the dynamics, most of the production and sound design in the middle here, fabulous. I think the biggest thing I would just focus on is making sure that you're protecting the accidental and the harmonic minor right there. Protect that. Make sure that that is clean and clear when it's happening and it's not happening in a space that feels muddy. So watch your spiccatos. Make sure those are clean and clear. So the structure of your progression feels really solid, really, really well formatted. And then on the bass side, just watch where the brass comes in. Make sure the brass on the D sharp is really sharp and clean. And if you are bringing it on the E, make sure there's production that surrounds that matches and mirrors what you're doing so it complements. It either needs to match or complement. What's up, Jimmy? It needs to match or complement. If it doesn't do either one of those things, intention can complement. But if it doesn't match or complement it, it's just going to be noise. It's going to be kind of muddy in the low end. So get that clean and clear so that's really well formatted. Beyond that, you're not far off at all. These are, you got 30 minutes of revisions to do and you're ready to go, man. Y'all please show some love to Derek Bennett. That's the family right there. All right, we're on our last two songs. So I'm going to go ahead and close the line. Y'all can still feel free to hang out, chill for a moment, hang out in the chat, stay around, comment on the artists that are, talk about the artists that are in here, network with each other, stuff like that. But I'm going to go ahead and close the line for new people so we don't have new people submitting. So we can keep things right where they are. Beautiful, beautiful. And then it looks like tonight we're going to be closing up with, and one more time, y'all, shout out. One more shout out for Testament Worship. 10,000 streams on Come Alive. Beautiful, man. I'm so proud of you. Seriously, I've seen you grow and expand your skills dramatically since I've known you, man. So a huge shout out to Testament Worship. Shout out to Derek Bennett. They're very, very, very talented individuals. And Midnight Fury, welcome into the building. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you in here. Y'all, let's keep it going. Welcome back, Jenna. I appreciate you as well. Of course, Derek. Absolutely, anytime. Peace. So glad you're here. Welcome in. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna close it up with Lord APOC and Liane. Y'all are gonna close this up today, and then everybody else that I have here on the board, I'm gonna save y'all for the next live stream, which will potentially be tomorrow. All things willing, power willing. We'll do another shorter live tomorrow, and then our full lives back starting on Monday. Again, all things power and internet willing. So let's get into these last ones. Thank you, Jenna. I mean, I've been live almost every day. Maybe you weren't able to join some of the last ones. Maybe that might be why. I was like, I think I've been here for a while. I'm posting a lot. All right, we've got. Hold up. So, APOC, you're up next, and I think that's. Let me just see the right name. The intro riff is a tribute to Dimebag Darrell. Let's get it. I gotta make sure I get the right name. Is it Robert? Is that you? I want to make sure it's the right. Probably fell asleep on my phone. That makes sense. Do 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 do. Beautiful. Okay, sounds good. All right, let's get it. Let's see. Just want to play regular TikTok live stream. I'm the guitar tech. Excuse me. I'm the guitar tech for Cyadine. Pronounced Cyadine. There you go. Yeah. Cyadine is out of Detroit. They started when they were 16. They are now 23, and I'm their guitar tech. Fabulous. Beautiful. Let's get. Oh, I'm excited. We don't. get a ton of guitar techs in here. So I'm so glad that you're here. We got someone who really knows their way around the strings. This is recorded at Pearl Sound, engineered by Chuck Alkazian and Patrick Harwood. Excuse me. Nugent's drummer, beautiful. The same studio and engineers that recorded Soundgarden, Eminem, The Romantics, and many, many more big name acts. Please give it a totally honest review, 100%. Absolutely, always. Guitar solo, I think, is the main feature of the song. Let's get into it. All right, this is on. I'm getting a snowstorm tomorrow in Monday. Yeah, but I think a lot of the country is going to get hit, Jenna. A lot of people are already there. It's like -20 in some states. Let's get into it. This is Lord Apoc. This right here in the chat. Let's open up Spotify right now and let's pull up the. Oh, hell yeah. That sounds great already. All right, let's get into it. This is Cyadine. They got 1,870 monthly listeners. They're crushing it. Looks like a 4-person band. Any other details you want me to know? Hopefully you've seen. I love details. I love context. I love talking gear. I love talking instruments. I love talking structure. If there's any info that you want to drop in the chat, I am all ears. Or if you just want to chill for a moment, also perfectly fine. But if there's anything in particular that I love talking gear. Yes. I love talking gear. So anything you want me to know? Guitar started at 10 years old. Fabulous. Let's get into it. This is Blood Trail by Cyadine. Double track. Sounds like a double track. If it is, yeah, I was gonna say if that is a double track, which it sounds like it is, so tight, almost phase consistent. It's a really good, like almost. I mean, it is chorused, but like it is a really good tight double track of those rhythms. The riff is almost like duplicated. It's very, 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 very well done. Very tight tracks. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Show some love. That was Blood Trail by Cyadine. It looks like this is an EP. Could be quad tracked on the rhythm guitars. It might be. Yeah, let us. I mean, they did say it was double. They did say it was double, and they were the guitar tech for it. Beautifully done. It looks like this was an EP that came out I was gonna say 3 years ago. It's 4 years ago at this point. That's crazy. 2022. This EP called Formidable came out. If you like what you hear, and you should, it's fantastic. Go stream it. Go like it. Go add it to your playlist. Go follow on Spotify. Go boost the algorithm. Go boost the numbers. That is Blood Trail by Cyadine. Let's run it from the top and let's get into it. I just want to talk about what they're doing really well. We did this earlier with Memorial Drive. When you get people that are doing things very, very well in specific genres, I think anyone can learn from the process and learn from what they're doing. So I don't know if there's anything I would change about this or structurally what I would edit about this. It's clean, it's clear, it's all pointed in the right direction. You get clarity from the vocals, you get a wall of sound from the guitars, you get snap and punch from the drums. That's all you want. That's all you want out of this genre. So I feel like y'all are executing beautifully. It's a very, very nice mix, a very polished, professional mix on this record as well. So that is Blood Trail by Cyadine. Let's run it from the top. Let's get into it. We'll showcase a few things, but this is gorgeous. Beautifully done. I mean, those drums were tracked in studio? Goodness gracious. Massive. The only thing that's just stupid. So ignore this. I'm going to say something you should just completely ignore. This is not a criticism at all. This is just me being annoying. I've drummed since I was 4 years old. I in my brain, it's not because it doesn't sound good. It sounds gorgeous. This is not a critique. In my brain, I hate audience perspective panning. I hate it. It's in my brain. I can't stand it. I wish it was drummer perspective because that's what I've known my whole entire life. I wish it was drummer perspective panning on the toms and the overheads, on the direct mics and the overheads. It's audience perspective, which is perfectly fine. It literally does not matter. No one cares and no one knows. As a drummer, it like drives me nuts. I like drummer perspective panning. It just always makes it feel more natural to me because I'm always behind the kit. And then I usually mix as someone from behind the kit when I'm doing engineering. And so this is not a criticism. Please don't change it. I don't care. It doesn't matter. But I have to say it. I have to say it because I'm annoying. DW kit. Is it a collector's? One of the best kits I've ever played on was a DW Collectors. DW Collectors was one of the most brilliant, most resonant, most fabulous sounding kit that I've ever used. Total custom kit, gorgeous. I mean, you're looking at what, $12,000 for a custom DW, something like that. It's a one-off kit. Five figures easily 5 figures. What do you think of our Arctic Monkeys older songs? I haven't listened to them in a while. I mean, I like the Arctic Monkeys, but it's been a long time since I've like dove into their music. Their older stuff is probably the only stuff I know. I don't even know if I've paid attention to any newer stuff. Yeah, I can imagine. That's crazy. It sounds so good. Do you happen to remember what the snare was? I'm kind of I don't know why, but I'm kind of doubting it's a DW snare. I'm assuming they're bringing in something specific for it. It's thick. It's got to be deep. It's got to be like an 8.5 or something. Or maybe it is the original DW snare. I was gonna say either like the Ludwig Black Beauty. It sounds kind of like a Pro Custom or like a Black Beauty 8.5, like something like that. The Pork Pie being basically the other version of the Black Beauty, which I've used plenty of times. It's a fantastic snare. If you don't remember, it literally doesn't matter at all. I know you're the guitar tech and I'm asking you drummer questions. From DW, the whole kit was oversized. So you got like massive, double kicks. You've got, 8.5-inch snares, but it was a DW. Fabulous. Sounds awesome. First kick, like super, super deep kick. It's like classic, like I don't know, like 80s rock and roll, like 80s, 90s rock and roll kits, that are just like, oh, everything's overdone. You got 72 cymbals around you, you got like a custom set surrounding you, or like pitch blacks all around you. Like it's those were the vibes, man. Those were the days. Now I'm all minimalist. You know what I mean? Like now my kit's like all tiny. I got like two things going around in the kit that I have in here. I have a Pearl Vision in here right now, a Maple Vision kit in here right now. And I love it. It sounds great. The Maple kits sound really, really nice. This one's from like the 90s. But it's like it's all little. It's all like a little tiny, got everything stripped down. Newbie, thank you for the trumpet. I appreciate you so much. Everything's all tiny today, two little baby toms. But back then, when I was playing the DW kit that I was playing, at the time I was playing drums for a church, just as a session musician. They'd bring me in sometimes, and the kit itself was just nuts. It was A customs all around, full kit. Every A custom they had, just full kit all the way around. DW custom kit, but there was like 7 toms. I mean, we were going from like a 6-inch tom all the way down to like 18 floor at the bottom because we had the double floors, and there was just too much going on. It was so crazy. I was like, dude, what are we doing? There's so much happening here. And I was like 16 playing on this thing. I was like, dude, this is magic. This is I'm a kid in a candy store. This is crazy.
I stand before you now, you cannot steal my pride. Broke you are determined, I am not hubris.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the tithes were hitting. A pocket, the tithes in that church were hitting, man. They were flowing. I'll be honest with you, love or hate it, they were flowing at that one. They had a $25,000 setup. I had 13 A custom cymbals all around me. I felt like I was Neil Peart. It was ridiculous. It was so excessive. Literally, it was like when I was doing it, I was like doing it as like a part-time session work. I've been drumming forever, and so I was like I was literally like 16 years old behind this shield. 16 years old, be like, what the fuck? This is crazy. Double kick, like dude, it was wild. Wild times. There was always like 2 or 3 snares. So I always had like the main at the time they had a random snare at the time. It was like the stereophonic or whatever. I don't know the aluminum snare or whatever. But they also had on the side they had their popcorn snares and stuff on the side. It was overset. It was the whole thing. So we had a constant closed hat, triggered closed hat in the middle. Like it was nuts. It was nuts. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? They were doing all right. Love, pros and cons. they were doing all right. No, yeah. Barely paid me though. All right, love these talks so much. Passion, you really love what you're doing. I do, newbie. I'm genuinely. I love talking about music. I love it so much. I'm very, very passionate about it. It's one of my favorite. Are so clean. They're so clean. That double track is like so tight. It almost sounds like a doubler. You know what I mean? Like it almost sounds like a chorused doubler. Like it's so tight. It's so clean. It's so well done, which works beautifully with the double for the vocals. So it's like what it's doing is so intentional because it's such a great marriage between those. There's 2 wide doubles of each vocal, right? So you have your powerful lead, 2 doubles of each vocal that are creating this width and this openness. It marries beautifully with the double on the vocal. Like it's so clean. It's so clean. Everything's very, very tight. The drums are wide. They're nasty. They're backwards. But they sound amazing. They sound really, really good. This is great. I love this. I'm a fan. It's interesting because this is a pretty classic like 80s and 90s rock and roll move where the lead vocals usually offset. Where you'd have like your double lead vocals offset and harmonizing center to outside. So like in this case, that's what you hear. Like if I'm going to back it up a little bit, you're going to hear like a really vibrant lead vocal far right and a balance to that on the far left. And then a harmony of the vocal in the middle, dry, like completely dry. It almost sounds like unprocessed. You're going to hear like this. It's a really interesting balance, but it makes the vocal feel huge. Makes it feel like it's all over. So your lead is like technically coming at you from all sides, right? You hear the main lead like far right and then another balance to that on the far left, like 80 to 100%. And then like a really dry harmony happening right in the middle of the mix. It's really interesting, but it works. It works. I'll remember that. Be inside the drum kit, not outside the set. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I laugh about it because I know a bunch of engineers and it's like their pet peeve. Like some really, really good engineers on here who are like always do it from the musician standpoint or whatever, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. A lot of VSTs, if you're triggering and stuff too, a lot of VSTs will be like natural audience perspective because that's how people hear it, generally speaking. But it's just, it's like a thing of mine. I don't care. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But when I am mixing drums, just because I am a drummer, since when I'm mixing drums for a client, I will typically do a drummer perspective. Just 'cause it feels really natural for me. Where like I'll have if for my direct mic, so I'll open up my stereo like overheads, right, or my room or my rooms if I have them, and then on my sorry for the allergies, y'all. Jesus, it's this storm coming in or whatever. And then on the drum direct mics for like my high and low and stuff like that, I'll typically go left to right. So I'll go like 40% left. If I have two rack toms, then I'll do maybe like 15% right and then like an 80% right on my floor and have a sweep that way and then open up the stereo to kind of match that image. But it really just it doesn't matter that much. I'm just kind of being annoying. All right, let's keep this punching forward a little bit. So we can take a listen to my beat I'm debuting. Rocket 47, thanks for tapping in. Evan, thanks for tapping in as well. The line is closed. Whoops, I'm too high. Line is closed. I'm backwards on my screen as well. I'm like, where am I? Line is closed for tonight. I might be live tomorrow, so if you haven't already, make sure that you're following. We'll open up the line for some more consultations potentially tomorrow, if not the day after. Wasn't you, Rocket, there'd be another 15 people in front of you. If I wasn't doing yours tonight and I was doing one more, I would be doing one of the other 15 people that have already submitted. I gotta keep everything in line, keep everything in order. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it a lot. So I could make an exception, but unfortunately the exception wouldn't go to you. It would go to someone else. So I gotta keep everything organized because we have people that submit to the line. They submit everything in order. But I will probably be on for a little bit tomorrow as long as I have power. As long as I have power and Wi-Fi tomorrow, I'll probably get on for at least a couple hours, 2-3 hours. All right, let's get into the solo. This is the last thing I want to listen to. This is beautiful. I need a huge shout out. Cyadine. Shout out to Cyadine, but also a huge shout out to APOC that's right here in the chat. That's their guitar tech. You're a beast. They are absolutely amazing as well. The quality here is pristine. It's professional. It's polished. This is commercially viable. It's really, really well done. They deserve far more monthly listeners than they have. They have a decent amount. 1,800 is not nothing. But man, they deserve they deserve a lot of success, man. They're talented. I feel like, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of this like old Ford Mustang racing game I used to play on the original Xbox. You know what I mean? Like that's what this is reminded. It's like feels nostalgic. This needs to be in games. This needs to be in like Need for Speed and stuff like this. This reminds me so much of like early racing games, like nostalgic racing games. I would love, or even like Tony Hawk Skater. You know what I'm saying? Like this needs to be in games. This needs to be placed. This needs to be synced. I would be pitching this to every library you can imagine, every agent you can imagine. Look for publishers, like just cold email 1,000 publishers. Get this out there. It deserves some recognition. All right, let's get into the solo here. I love it. Y'all show some love. That is Blood Trail by Cyadine. Go stream it, go like it, go add it to your playlist, go follow on Spotify. The song is out. And then one more time, a huge shout out to Lord APOC that's right here, right in the chat. He is the guitar tech for that band and phenomenally talented himself. So definitely show some love and support. Go stream their music. Beautifully, beautifully done. It's time to close it up, y'all. Liane, hop in the chat. Liane, hop in the chat. Let me know that you're here. Let me know you haven't fallen asleep yet. I know you have been hanging on for dear life, and I know it's really late for you. So I'm grateful that you've been so patient. I appreciate your feedback. I'll submit another stream. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you so much, Lord. Thank you so much for tapping in today. I appreciate that a lot. All right, I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for hanging on. This is Liane, Art and Song. This is my first song ever. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. Myself. Beautiful. I wrote the song, would love some feedback. Okay, this is a Hospital, I'll Call You Home. Let's get this downloaded. Remind me really quick. I think you might have mentioned some stuff in the chat earlier before we got through all the rest of these other songs. This is what's going to close us up today. You're going to close us out. Give me all of the details. Talk to me about the creation of the song. I think you mentioned some stuff earlier, but remind me if you wouldn't mind. And let's get it. Let's get it downloaded. We'll pull it up. All right, y'all. Last song of the day. We'll open up some line just a little bit. Again, shorter streams today and tomorrow. Longer streams starting on Monday again, as long as I have power. This is Hospital, I'll Call You Home by Liane Day. Oh yeah, generate. As soon as I heard the piano, it's generated, right? Yes, the music and singing is AI, but I wrote this. Okay, also as soon as I heard the piano, I was like kind of reminded, had a flashback. The music is generated. And the vocal, but the writing. So same situation we were talking about. So honestly, it's probably beneficial that you were here earlier because you get a lot of what I was saying earlier, right? A lot of my perspective on like advice for generating artists and generating musicians and stuff like that. So you get like a double. you get a double consultation today because we talked a lot about some of this stuff earlier. So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully that was somewhat insightful for you. Okay, good. I'm very, very glad. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. How long have you been writing? Do you do poetry? Do you sing it all yourself? Let me know.
Mommy's on the phone again. It's 10:30. An ambulance is on its way. Please just stay. You say you're okay, but I know that look.
I appreciate y'all so much. I appreciate y'all.
Face.
Oh wait, an artist that realizes generated songs. Let me know what you mean. Tech vibe. Let me know what you see. Let me know what you mean. Lord, I appreciate that all. I always do my best. I really try my best to give like specific actionable feedback to people. Like I want people, no matter how you create, I want you to have tools. I think it's really valuable. I do sing and been on and off writing for years. Okay, I would be interested. You don't have to do this whenever you maybe feel comfortable. I know it's a very vulnerable thing, especially now that you're generating more, but I would be interested to hear your voice. From someone who sings. I would be interested to hear what your voice sounds like, and what it would look like to have you become your own artist, and work with some producers and some session musicians to bring your stuff to life. That'd be great.
So I silently pray for just one more embrace. We walk down halls I know too well. I recognize that smell. The nurse knows me by name. I'm glad they came.
There's some
Hospital, I'll call you home.
there's some more cohesive structure to this. I feel like better rhyme schemes and stuff.
Sound of your tone. Listening to doctors talk while I play with my dolls, wondering when will Daddy come home.
I would like that hook. We can talk about the hook mainly, I think. I would love for like the lyric and phrasing and rhyme schemes of that hook to be maybe a little bit more consistent to really drive home those lyrics. Because they're good lyrics. They're good lyrics.
When will I see you again? I feel to blame grip your hand so tight. Though my fingers
There's some good
are
phrasing in the verses though.
because I know you'll fight. You still stand so tall. We walk down halls I know too well. I recognize that smell. The nurse knows me by name. I'm glad they came. Hospital, I'll call you home. I've learned the sound of your tone. Listening to doctors talk.
Melodies there, I think we can adapt a little bit too. A little bit more consistent. Maybe a repetition of that first melody I think would be really nice.
Emergency
There's some potential here.
the doctors will fight. I'll wait by
Allergies are killing me. Oh, goodness.
Please hang on a little more. All this running around, I can hear the sound. Please stay by my
Is it Lune? Thank you so much for tapping in. Welcome in.
You've died. Hospital, I'll call you home. I've learned the sound of your tongue.
Taking writing course, taking a songwriting course in September. Dude, I love that so much. So yeah, I think I mainly just want to talk on structure, largely for your hook. The verses are pretty good. There's some good rhymes in there and some consistent movements in there that I appreciate. So I really want to. The hook to me matters so much. This is a pop record, ideally. This is largely speaking a pop record, and so the hook is everything. It's everything. So melodic structure, the sound design choices, of course, but melodic structure and building out like your melodies and your phrasing matters more than anything. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. I need advice on some life things. Oof. It depends on what. I'll tread lightly. I'll tread lightly. I don't know if I have the answers. I don't know if I got the answers. My life's a little crazy right now.
Listening to doctors talk while I hold my broken doll, still wondering when
Because even this melody's different again.
they come home. Hospital, I'll call you home. I've learned the sound of your tongue.
I'm a beat maker, part of this music community, trust me. No, yeah. I didn't know if you did music and you were just like, hey, like I'm having an issue at home or something. I didn't know what you meant by life advice. Like life, I need advice on life things. If it has to do to music, I probably got you. I mean, we could talk life a little bit too, but I was like, hold on. Just want to talk and stop the music shit. I was like, no, we're deep in the music right now.
I hold my broken doll, still wondering when will Daddy come home? Daddy, come home. Daddy, come home. Will Daddy
You're
come
good. You're good. No worries, man.
home?
Y'all show some love. Show some love. Show some love. Oh, I think it's for me. It's got to be like baseline to like low end synthesis, like the Juno, like low end Juno 60 stuff, like chorused Juno 60 stuff, distorted bass lines. I feel like that's the biggest. That's the biggest like textural piece for me that matters. But y'all show some love. Show some love to Liane. I appreciate you sending this in. Brody, thanks for tapping in too. FLO, so welcome to the Tempo Journey. Thank you. I appreciate you a lot. Thanks for tapping in. I try. I do my best. I do my best. Okay, let's largely talk hook. Okay. The song is let's mainly talk the hook because I think your verses, you're pretty good at writing out your structure there. There's a little bit more freedom in the way that you build out your verses, but this is a pop record and needs a hook, right? And there's some inconsistencies in phrasing, inconsistencies in like melodic structure and stuff like that. And FYI, you're the only American who's pronounced my name right. For one, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I'm the only one, but I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did, and I'm so glad you stopped by today. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. But I'm also so sorry. America sucks, man. It's crazy. All right, let's keep it going. Let's run it for the top, but let's get into the hook. Liane, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for sending this in. I appreciate you sending in your songwriting, sending in your structure. Let's run it. I'm gonna skip straight into the hook because that to me the obviously mix of production is whatever. I want to get into the hook and I want to work it out. So this song is in G sharp major. So let me get into the first. Hey, have a good one. I appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, G sharp major. So. Right, that's the main structure that we're looking at right there. C sharp major, G sharp major, D sharp major, and F minor. That's our main progression for this hook. So let me skip into the hook, and that's what we'll focus on. Then we'll close everything up, and we'll end the live.
We walk down halls and
So we're gonna go with the hospital. I'll call you home. I think that's the start of your hook here.
the nurse knows me home. Hospital, I'll call you home.
So I like that, right? Da, 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 da. I like that movement. I like the da, 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 da. Now, this is a pop song, right? So we need repetition. It's a non-negotiable. It's not really an option. There's different alternative ways to be like more free-flowing and loose and creative and whatever. But the way that this is structured is as a song you want people to remember. You want good lyrics, you want engaging, creative, emotional lyric structure. And the way that you're going to get that emotional, creative lyric structure to stick is format. It's repetition. It's a little bit of an algorithm, some mathematics to the way that you build it. So you want the lyrics to be free and interesting and creative, right? But I want the melody structure and the phrasing to be very consistent and have good repetition. So what I would do is let me hear this early structure here still. Hospital, I'll call you home. Right, your early melody there is fine.
I'm glad they came.
Let me hear it again here really quick.
Hospital, I'll call you home. I've learned the sound of your tone.
So right there, fine, right? Let's see. Hospital, I'll call you home. I share the sound of your tone. Right, that's fine. What you need to do right after that, you'll hear this change.
Listening to doctors talk.
You hear it change melody again.
While I play with
Change melody
my
again.
dolls, wondering when will daddy
Change
come
melody
home?
again. So you get no structure and no repetition. This is the thing that like the AI is not good at unless you really already know what you're doing, right? So when you're generating music and you're just like, here's the lyrics, make something, it's not good at creating. It'll create a repetition of structure sometimes. So it might do those melodies again later, but within the hook, it's not very good at, unless you already know exactly how to prompt it. It's not good at creating internal structure for your hook. So you got to do that yourself. So in this case, I would repeat your melody. So let's see. Hospital, I'll call you home. I love the sound of your tone. Whatever melody, I would do that again. Da, 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 I said I'll call you home. And then like whatever the ending melody is right there, I would just repeat that melody again, right? So when you start with the da 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 da, if that's your first melody, do that again. Da 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 da, and then you can do your ending line of I think it's like something about "Daddy, when will you come home?" or something. Let me hear it again.
While I play with my dolls, wondering when will daddy come home?
Okay, so right here too.
While I play with my doll tone, listening to doctors talk. While I play with
Like I would probably so listening to doctors talk while I play with my dolls, you get your double phrasing right there, like closely. It's a close rhyme, right? So it's and like like you could call a parallel rhyme, right? Um, where it's like a close rhyme. It's not exactly the same, right? They don't interconnect, but they're close, right? So doctors talk, uh, doctors talk while I play with my dolls. I would do the same for your ending line, and then you say, "Wondering when," right? Let me see.
While I play with
My
my
dolls. Those two are good.
wondering when.
And so what I would say here is so the doctors talk while playing with my dolls, wondering when. And then I would end with a rhyme to when because then and that's really easy, right? Well,
Will daddy
so and then you end early with no rhyme. So wondering when will daddy come home again? Again, or something like that, right? I'm not trying to write it for you, but you have the doctor, doctors talk, will I play with my dolls, wondering when will daddy come home again? Like the when and the again and the talk and the dolls, that gives you some like set of rhymes that makes it feel a little more complete. Like it kind of it puts a bow around it, right? So that it doesn't feel too open-ended. Because if it's kind of talk, dolls, when, and then it's loose, and then like nothing ever quite rhymes, nothing ever quite repeats itself, none of the melodies quite recirculate, and so you have like pretty good lyrics and some pretty good melodies that never end up sliding into place into a structure that makes people want to listen again. Nothing sticks. There's no repetition, so it never sticks in their mind, right? Any pop song that you've ever heard, and most songs at all that you've ever heard, the reason why you remember it is because they probably sing the melody within that hook 4 times, and then sang that hook 4 times in the song, and you heard that melody 16 times. In this case, you'll hear the start of that melody 2 to 3 times in this song, and that's it. Right. So the amount of darts on the board to get your attention and create those like the pattern recognition in your brain. This is the algorithm of songwriting a little bit, right? The amount of pattern recognition is just not going to be there. So someone might love this song when they hear it and they'll forget it 5 minutes later as soon as they hear the next song in a playlist. You want someone to be humming the song when they're doing the dishes later on because it was so stuck in their head. You get those earworms, right? And that takes pattern, that takes repetition, that takes structure. So that's what I would prioritize in this. Retrack, good to see you, man. That's what I would prioritize when you're getting into your writing, even if you're, if you're wanting, especially if you're wanting to work with vocalists, I would really make that one of the most important things, right? So having the the sound of your voice, I feel the sound. There's the repetition. The sound and you move on, right? There's some pattern, there's some repetition, there's some structure there. That to me is more important than anything. Let me hear the outro of the song here really quick. Actually, let me hear the second verse really quick, just to dig into that for a second. But I want you to focus on your hook because if you want to make pop songs, alternative pop songs, folk, indie, R&B, whatever it is, pattern matters a lot. Pattern matters a lot. Even in like metal, what you'll hear is you'll hear like a crazy scream verse with blast beats that's nuts, and then clear voice hook, right? That's like really beautiful and like really distinct. Screaming crazy blast beats, a drum solo, it's chaos, it's crazy. Clear hook that's really repetitive and consistent, right? Even in the genres you wouldn't think, even like in dubstep and whatever, you'll typically hear a really distinct hook. The hook matters more than you think. It is the thing that I would prioritize over everything. It matters so much. All right, let's hear this verse really quick. And all the other stuff about generated stuff I covered with the other one, so that hopefully you're covered with that.
I'll wait to hear your name. When will I see you again? I feel to blame for your pain.
So you hear the melody change again. So like I would repeat again. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Right? Da, 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 da. Like whatever, like making up melodies here, but like based on these early melodies that you have just here in this the prompt in this case. Lee, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. What you have are these early melodies. We just need to hear them again so they stick. right? If it like starts here and then it moves and it flows around, it kind of moves up here, it takes a left turn and then comes back around, we just won't remember. It could be good lyrics. It could be beautiful lyrics. It could be a phenomenal cinematic pop production, right? It could be the best. It could be a Grammy winning engineer on it. Like you could have all the credits, right? You could have all the things right. If the structure is not cohesive and the structure doesn't point to some kind of pattern, people just won't remember. It could be the most beautiful, most credible things happening on here, and people won't remember. We've got to get people to remember. So I'd put all your eggs in that basket. Lee, this is our last one. The line is closed. Line is closed right now. This is our last one for the night, but I will probably be on tomorrow. Most likely, as long as I keep saying there's like a storm right now, an ice storm or whatever. So I don't know. As long as I have power, as long as I have, if I have power and internet tomorrow, I'll probably hop on for another couple hours. I'll open up the line again. We'll open up the consultations again, and I would absolutely love to hear what you got. But yeah, this is our last one for tonight. We've already been on for about 3 hours today, and that's like a short live for me. So let's get into this last little part right here. But yeah, I think that to me, Liane, that to me is the most important thing that you need to keep in mind is you have good lyric structure. You also have good concepts. You have good lyric structure. You have good concepts. Now we need to make sure that phrasing, melody, structure all aligns with that. Matters more than anything. More than your mix. More that you could like play you could play an acoustic guitar and sing into a phone and it like sounds shitty. If it's a good song with good structure, it could take off. You could always get people going later, right? You can always get musicians and stuff later. It matters so much that your structure is in line. So I would put all your eggs in that basket. Put all of your eggs in that basket, and then you can always get musicians. You can always get a better mix. You can always, work with a real vocalist or sing it yourself. I'm going to push you on that a little bit. Sing it yourself. Build out some of these structures yourself and layer it and start to work with. You start to build with some producers, build with some, engineers that'll do it for cheap or for free, for points, for a split on it, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I really think that you have some potential and you have some good structure here. Let's just make sure that it's all pointed in the right direction. Wubsy, thank you so much for the heartbeat. It's good to see you, man. I hope you're doing beautifully. Y'all please show some love. Show some love, Liane. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being vulnerable with your writing, vulnerable with your music. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for your input today and for sending in this song. That's going to close us up for tonight, y'all. We're going to be back on tomorrow. Hello, beautiful Wubsy. I appreciate you tapping in. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, I'm never going to be here hating. I'm never going to be here trashing people. It's just not in my personality. It's not in what I think is valuable for people, no matter what you do. I want to be a support system. I want to bring real experience and real knowledge that matters, and not just trash and not just roast and not just hype everyone up. I want it to be real. I want people to actually get something that's valuable out of it. So no matter what was trash music, please, please, I need it. I want to make sure that you can grow. I want to make sure that you grow. And for me, I have seen, having heard thousands of songs and worked with so many different people and worked with so many different artists and experienced this industry for what it is, I have seen the most amount of growth. I've seen people get trashed and I've seen people get praised extensively on both sides, whether they needed it or not. And I have seen the most amount of growth happen through practical feedback. I have seen very few people get roasted and trashed and just then become amazing. They usually just give up or just stay being trash. And I've seen very few people get constantly praised and hyped up and everyone's telling them amazing and there's nothing to work on and you're up next, bro. You're so fire. You're up next. Just fix your mix. I've very, very rarely seen that be what makes someone excellent. What I have seen make people excellent and actually grow and improve is like, yeah, this needs work. Here's exactly what you should do to work on it. You know what I mean? Like, here's exactly what you should target to improve on your skill and become more excellent, become more valuable to the industry and to the people that you want to work with and collaborate with. I'm so glad, Liane. I appreciate you a lot. I've been trashed. I kind of love it, though. It made me work harder. Yeah, there's a balance. There's a balance to the personality. It's just not fresh way more than, yeah, I appreciate that, Wubsy. Yeah, but I think here's the thing. You said two things there that are important to dissect, right? I've been trashed and it made me want to work harder. At what? So that's the switch right there, right? So I think that's the most important part. I always want to give the at what, right? I got trashed. It made me want to work harder. In what direction? You know what I mean? And I know Wubsy deeply. Like we're good friends. I've heard his stuff a million times. He's awesome. He's an awesome producer and DJ. But I think that to me is the most important thing because there's a lot of people that get trashed and they're like they get trashed for their music and they're like, dudes, like this compression sounds like shit. Your vocals is too bright. And then they go and they get trashed and made fun of or whatever. And then they move on and they go back they go back to their DAW and they're like, I don't know what to change. I guess I'll switch my EQ. I guess I'll compress differently, but I don't even know how a compressor works. I don't know what's going on. And then there's no at what. And the at what matters more than anything. Now, Wubsy's experienced enough to know more about the at what. People will be like, dude, your mix is way too uncompressed. I'd be like, oh yeah, I should take off the 7 OTTs on my master. and I kind of know what to do. He's experienced enough to do that. But a lot of people aren't. A lot of people don't have the support or the knowledge or the experience to get criticism that's generalized and surface and then actually know what to execute next. So I always want to give the executing part. I always want to give the knowledge. I always want to give the details. Wait, no, I mean, you can. Hey, if it works, it works. I just haven't heard it work. If it works, it works. I just never seen it work. I'm so glad, Liane. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you for doing that. All right, y'all, that's going to close it up. A quick reminder, y'all, before we close it up, before we get out of here, for those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I am a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. I do that full-time. That's what I do, and that's what I offer as far as services go. So if you're ever in need of services, that is what I do. So if you ever need live drums, you need acoustic, electric, or bass guitar, you need synths, please hire for me synths. I love synths. If you need synthesizers or keys, if you need live vocals, whatever it may be, that is what I do for a living. If you need full production packages, you need a mix and master, that is what I do. So if you are ever interested in services, shoot me a message on Instagram or on TikTok. You can shoot me an email through the contact form at theobsidiankey.com, which you can find at my link tree. However you want to get a hold of me, get a hold of me. We'll talk about your budget. We'll talk about timeline and stuff like that, and hopefully be able to bring your music visions to life in any capacity. I would absolutely love to support you in any way that I can and make sure that it makes sense for both of us. But I love you. Sounds good, Lee. Sounds good. I would love to help you out. Stay safe in the great state of Texas. Thank you, Texas, for giving us Pantera. Let's go. Have a fabulous of your day. After it gets it. Sounds good, Liane. I appreciate y'all so much. I love and appreciate y'all. Thanks for hanging out today. Hopefully we'll see some of y'all tomorrow. If not, tap in soon. I love and appreciate y'all.